Ooh, what's happening, guys? Welcome to another. Ooh, Mike's a little hot. Another eclectic edition of PWT live show. Yeah.
Dummy. Yeah.
I am your infallible host, Phil Marks here. You guys already know I got Dynamite. It's going to come on when it's about to air in 10 minutes. We're going to watch it along. We're going to hang out. We're going to do the damn thing. You guys already know, 28 of you in here. Get those likes up, please, and thank you. Sneeze and Spanks. And right off the rip, we have a new member here, Desmond Nogler. Shout him out if you guys want to become a member. Go ahead and do that. You can gift memberships at Pro Wrestle Times on YouTube, at Pro Wrestle Clips on YouTube, guys. We are way above, a little bit above 3,000 subscribers. Yeah, I want to shout you all out. Yeah. Thank you so much for 3,000 subs. We're almost at 700 on the other channel. And I just appreciate you guys so much, man. I'm grinding so hard. You guys probably see every single day uploads. Sorry that there hasn't been a normal PWT podcast. Yeah. This last week, it's been 10 days or something. I apologize for that. I was trying to set up a debate. It sort of fell through, but I'm going to come at you guys with some heat coming up in the very near future with lots of great guests. Okay. I assure you of that. Yeah, man, it's been not the craziest week in terms of wrestling. They did say Kenny Omega has a huge announcement on Dynamite tonight, so we're gonna check that out and see if it is huge. And welcome, Desmond Nogler, if that's how you pronounce it. Thanks so much for becoming a member. And the way you become a member is there's a link down below. I think it's 99 cents Canuck money, so you guys go ahead and join that up. And let me shout out the Tribal Chiefs. You get shouted out on the show, whether you're a Tribal Chief over on our Patreon, whether you're a Tribal Chief on the Pro Wrestle Times channel or the Pro Wrestle Clips channel. You get shouted out on the podcasts and the live shows. So if your name doesn't get mentioned here, it will be on the next one, I assure you. Gilgamesh Roast, J, 1199, Sal Dostry, Kyle Mulkey, Joseph Morales, Derek Hance, Liam McBlain, Cruz Madrid, Sass Prophet, Ninja Boy, Savage Wrestling Podcast, Brad Becker, Jamie Earhart, and Scully Vibes with two Z's. Those are our Tribal Chiefs. So we acknowledge you.
Yeah.
I need to get the acknowledge me. And then all of the other members, of course, we try to read as many members' chats as we can. Members only show coming soon. I promise you. Cheers. Phil is not afraid of the grind. Absolutely not, dude. The complete opposite. I embrace the grind, bruv. I was born in the grind, bruv. So, yeah, I told you guys we did it the one night. I made a commitment to you guys. Of course, everyone shout out, round of applause for Chris Benoit, who I believe, aren't you on the golf course or something? Chris Benoit on the golf course or something, still moderating the chat, embracing the grind. Phil is the grind, that's right. And Crispin as well, our lovely moderator. I didn't think he'd be here. I thought you were golfing or something, bro, but he's here. We grind here at PWT. Speaking of the grind, in about 5 minutes, AEW Dynamite's about to start. There's a huge major announcement. We'll watch that along. There's an Edmonton Oilers versus Vancouver Canucks bud hockey game happening immediately when Dynamite's finished. So I got to watch that, guys. So I don't know if we're going to go 5, 4, 5, 6. Sometimes we go 6.5 hours. It probably won't be that long tonight. But nonetheless, I digress. Before we get into Phil Marks bookmarks, we're of course during commercial breaks, we're gonna laugh at Dave. You never know who might pop up here on the show. You guys know how we get down. But if you can, please hit that like button. There's 40 some of you in here, so I'm not gonna ask for our regular number 69, but I'm gonna ask for we need at least 30 likes if there's gonna be 48 of you guys chilling in here. We're at 12. Please go hit that like button. I'm going to harass you to do it until you do it. So, yeah, get those likes up. I appreciate you all so much. And hello, everyone. Phil is the grind. Yes. You're all funneling in. And we can start our show. What I want to start the show with this week is something that a very good friend of yours and mine, friend of the show, made today, and I want to play this all for you. And regardless if I might have to clip it out later because I might get YouTube might say, nah, can't take parodies of parodies or whatever the fuck. Either way, here is Marv, the movie monster from over at Tooneytown Wrestling. Here is his latest song parody, Booker Man, a WWE and AEW Piano Man song parody.
Like what folks on Cage Match might say. Dynamite. WWE. All right, let's talk about the WWE. Now, I've been a wrestling fan all my life. I started when I was just 3. But I hate AEW and TNA. I only watch WWE.
Let's go,
I just
Marv.
can't stand that crap on the other side. I only watch them now and then. And I hate all their wrestlers till they come back. Now I love Punk and Cody again. WWE. WWE.
Okay. Let's go, Marv.
Now Tony's a billionaire's progeny who butchers my sport with a knife. And I hate him, but if he closed up his shop, well then what would I do with my life? Self-deprecating humor is the best kind.
It absolutely is. Ladies and gentlemen, round of applause for Marv, the movie monster. And his latest song. If you want to hear the last 3 minutes, 4 minutes, you head over to Toon Wrestling is the channel, youtube.com/Toon Wrestling. Tooneytown Wrestling is the full name. And shout out Marv the movie monster. That was absolutely hilarious. And yeah, he's got some more on that. Make sure you head over to his channel and check that out. I really, really enjoyed that one, man. I think he drops one of those parodies like every week or every few weeks, but he absolutely just knocks it out of the park. Some people in the chat are saying, yeah, the uneven eyes on Tony. ToonieCon makes me giggle so much. Yeah, don't poke Toonie in the tum-tum. Yeah, don't boop him. He might, as I said, right? It's like Charlie Murphy. When Charlie Murphy kicks Rick James, he goes flying into the glass. But yeah, man, that one had me cracking up. What a great way to set off the show as Dynamite is about to head on the air as well. And chat, I hope you guys enjoyed that a lot. I have some more stuff. We're gonna react to Dynamite. I got some more stuff to share with you guys. Dynamite is on the air. I'll turn it up.
How are you feeling going into tonight against another member of House of Black and Brody King?
Okay, Brody King is being brought up.
I'm not feeling too great.
Adam Copeland Edge is cutting a promo.
And I have to stop it.
Okay.
So tonight it gets stopped.
Okay.
Why don't you bring it in tight?
Bring it in tight. Bring the camera in tight, as they have to do in AEW regularly.
Tonight is going to be a no disqualification.
Oh, a no DQ match. Great.
How's it like? You wanted to write about a superstar. Tonight you got it.
So they're playing the Young Bucks' intro, guys, right? So, okay, a good little opening, like little promo. They're playing the Young Bucks' intro. Do you guys know what I mean by that? Like last week, they're like, oh, we're taking over, and it's a new Dynamite intro. So it's just like Jack Perry and Okada and Bucks. Now, we covered on the last live show on Saturday there, myself and Marv talked about how the Bucks lose on average like 46K viewers. Like they've only ever kept the same rating or gained viewers in like 3 segments in the last year or something like that. Every single one of them has been they've lost viewers. Girls in Edmonton about to show their titties on on the live stream. Let's go. Attitude Era DX. Orange Cassidy getting the titties. Let's go. No, Edmonton's a bunch of wild boys. The people here are the biggest degenerates. They have to be the biggest degenerates, smarky Mark wrestling fans like myself, because otherwise they're at the watch party watching Oilers. And now the Oiler game starts right after Dynamite's done. So I feel, you can just see how empty that building is. Holy fuck, man, that's not good. And the thing is like, I feel bad if they tape Rampage and Ring of Honor after this. There's going to be nobody here. Everybody's going to be watching the Oilers Vancouver at the bar or whatever. And just to open the show with the Bucks package that is proven to all you see is fucking Oilers jerseys. To open it with the Bucks' thing when they're proven to lose ratings, and then Orange Cassidy and the building so shit. Damn, man, this might be the lowest rated Dynamite of the year, maybe of all time. I think I'm like 10 seconds behind. They just flashed the titties for a second. Yeah, depending on where it's broadcast from. So they're in Edmonton, you know what I mean? Close to home for me. So they, I'm closer. When we were watching the pay-per-view in Lyon, France, other people were ahead of me. You know what I mean? So it all just depends, I think, where it's broadcasting from, the delays, all of those sort of things. 94 of you in here, though. This is incredible. At least get us to 69 likes, please. We aim for 69 every show. And then once we hit that, we go a little higher than that. I guess we try to. 28 likes, 99 of you watching. Let's get to 69 likes, please, and thank you for the ladies in the chat who like that. Okay, they're the ones who called for it. We're just helping them out. All right, fellas, hit that like button. Okay, Orange Cassidy almost risking his life on that dive. That building's looking rough, fellas. My word. Yeah, that girl's right in the front who was down to show the tatais, you know? So good for her. Good for her. Let him out. 69, yeah, get it up there. You know, everybody, Rampage is after Collision this week. Oh, my God. So that's a long-ass Saturday we're going to have together. Hey, when we when we hang out for Saturday's live show, that's going to be a live one, dude. Compare this opening for $5. A round of applause to the HPN. He's got a question for $5. He says, compare this opening to how NXT opened with Wes Lee yesterday. Also, go Panthers. Oh, shit. Go Panthers. Yeah, dude, NXT. So, you know, I was over on Toni Talk Wrestling last night. If you guys haven't, go and check that out. It was a great time. I was with Mish from Wrestling Soup, Kevin Apollo, the War Dog, who's got a pro wrestling show coming up in the near future himself. I believe it's called AWC, and he will be on this show sooner than later. And we were hanging out with Marv, and we were hanging out with Awful Wrestling, and you know, we go head to head with NXT. So I typically watch it after, and man, I should almost like review NXT on these Wednesday shows. Maybe I'll start doing that next week. But yeah, Wesley's back, the ovation, the fact that, man, we thought he might never wrestle again. People were saying his injury was that serious and bad, and it was just phenomenal. The one shots they're doing, the production clearly on the main roster, they're testing a lot of that stuff out over on NXT, and I just love it, man. That whole NXT's do like Lola Vice, you know. I've been following her since the MMA Bellator days. She's phenomenal. Just the character work, the female wrestling, they're doing the combines. Do you know why that combine, where they got that from? They did those on the WWE Next Gen Roku series. And by the way, they released like everyone from that Next Gen show, which is fucked, except for like the girl who's dating Lexis King. And then someone else, this other girl from, I think, the Ukraine, who's like very tall, and she has something, you know, you can see it in her. She's very green, but she has like the look and the sort of thing they can cultivate. But anyways, they they like fired all those kids, but they did the combine there, and that was like some of the most interesting stuff in the show. So yeah, definitely check out, compare to what they're doing over on NXT compared to this, and it's night and day. Not to shit on them, but this building's just not full. Somebody asked me in the chat how many people are there. I don't know. I have no clue. Sorry, I can't see the chat. I missed it. And then we have Julian jump the rail, Orange Julius or what? Instead of Orange Cassidy. The first match fucking sucks. See, I love Trent, but yeah, this type of match isn't hot whatsoever. I gotta be perfectly honest. Now I like pulling up the cards, which I didn't do, and then just sharing the screen. Trending, Willow Mercedes main event is trending. Is that the main event of tonight, or is that the main event of? Is that what the marks are calling for? Should be the main event of the pay-per-view. I don't know. We're about to dive into Phil Marks bookmarks while we I just want to pull the card up first so we can all look at it. So Dustin Rhodes says an incredible card for Dynamite tonight. We'll bookmark that and head into Phil Marks bookmarks. We got a lot of interesting things going on in the world of pro wrestling. So this match is just like, no one cares about it. That's the problem. They tried to get heat on this. How deeply personal. Bro, no one cares that these guys split up, you know? Like, no one gives a shit. No one cares that Orange Cassidy and Trent Beretta are fighting. Trent Beretta should not be... Dude, they just need a cruiserweight division. Here's the solution to get all these people to stop bitching. Well, it's sports-based. Okay, then make a cruiserweight division or a light heavyweight division, and then we'll be more compelled to watch this guy like fight other dudes his size. Do you know what I'm saying? 105 of you in here. Let's please and thank you get the likes up to like 100. Obviously, that's a tall order. 69 in the chat. Let's get it. 69's in the chat, and let's get to 69 likes. And we'll do a little scissoring here when we take a look at what Max Caster had to say on CVV in a moment here. But first, we're going to delve into Phil Marks' book. Actually, first, we're going to talk to Jimmy B. Yeah. Jimmy B with a $10 super chat as Don Callis comes down to tremendous heat. Jimmy B says, great to see PWT grow. I love the pod. I love wrestling, and I love titties. Absolutely. Round of applause. Okay. So I love titties too. I'm a titty guy. You know what I mean? I love wrestling as well. You guys know that. I have a whole channel dedicated to it. And great to see PWT. I love the pod. Me too. I love doing this more than anything. Sorry there hasn't been an episode. If you're just tuning in, there wasn't like just a regular PWT like on the RSS feed for y'all. I've been busy as shit, and on top of that, just you already explained it. I wanted to get a debate going. It didn't really work. I've had a bunch of people asking to come on, and I was like, no, I want to set that, and then I should have just had them on. Stupid. But so there, I'm gonna hit you guys with like 2 or 3 or something. You know, I'll come at you with some good stuff. And PWT's growing, man. 3K subs, guys. Round of applause for you guys. 3K subs, over 3K. All the videos, dude, like I remember I would get like 50 views or like 150 and be like, oh, this is a good video. Look, over 100 views if I can keep grinding and keep this up. And dude, now videos are just 1,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 10,000. Some hit 20K. It's crazy. So thank you so much. And the other channel, if you're not subscribed to that, at prowrestletimes, is the long form channel. As soon as this live show ends, it will be replayed on the other long form channel, Pro Wrestle Times, as well. Like the live shows, if you ever miss it, you go catch the replay over on the other channel, subscribe to that. And that's where you get the long form podcast. Or if you just like clips, I'm a clip guy myself. That's why I started a clip channel right from the beginning. You know what I mean? I'm a clip guy who, so I read the game early, and I was like, I just need to have a clip channel because that's how I like to consume other people's content. So from day one, we had a clip channel, and that's what's blowing up, and I just use that as the main channel because it always made the most sense. And yeah, make sure you become a member if you haven't. 83 of you watching. Let's get the likes up. We're fluctuating 80 to 100. I'm doing lots of plugs. People probably want me to talk about the graphs. Thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate you so much. I'm just waiting for this match to end. Yeah, I'm sort of the same way now. Like Trent Beretta, he get solid right hand KO punch type shit. A nice big chop to the chest that was very nice went down there. Cassidy's selling, but it's just people don't care. You don't want to see this guy beating everyone up, and Trent has a great look and everything. We just need to see the character work come into fruition. And I guess this is the way to do it. Well, who else? Obviously the best friends have to break up. Sure, but they're just an inconsistent team that you guys also call Roppongi Vice sometimes. So am I sharing this? Oh my God, dude. I've had the match card pulled up and I never even shared the screen this whole time. So my bad. That's an L. So thank you for people who just are tuning back in. Because I major L'd there. I thought I had the card pulled up for like 7 minutes while I was rambling there. Oh, man. So here's the card tonight, guys. All out of whack. The first match is on the middle of the graphic. That's why WWE does it great. They just announce like 3 or 4 things. This is what AEW fucks up all the time. They announce every single thing. And Kenny will have a major announcement. They announce every single thing. So, they think that I'm going to tune in for Serena. We'll hear from Serena Deeb. Oh, man, I got to tune in and hear what Serena Deeb's got to say. No. Give me a fucking moment in time. Oh, let's announce Mariah May and Harley Cameron. Harley Cameron's been a fucking... I love her. She's been a manager this whole time. So she wrestles, dude. What the fuck? So it's just do some things. Save some of it for the show during the fucking matches. Don't just, and then they're airing everything that's still to come tonight. Don't do all that, man. Don't announce it all. Announce 4 matches, or you see what WWE did. They had the King of the Ring, so they announced all the matches, and everyone's like, "Oh, this is too much matches." Meanwhile, everyone criticizes it for not having enough wrestling. It's so stupid. Just announce 3 or 4 things, and then have a competent. What happened last week? Oh, the Bucks invaded the show. Why aren't they doing the same shit and making matches this week? Let's see them make one of these dumb matches at the top of the show, so I want to see it later. You know what I mean? Jesus Christ, at least keep the story consistent. They do it 1 week, and then the Bucks want this week off, and they filmed all their vignettes for 3 weeks. That's what Punk said. These people film their vignettes for 3 weeks, and then they go home. So what, are the Bucks not here? Why can't we have the same storyline going on through all of this? Why is this match still going this long? Why the fuck hasn't Trent just cheated and beat Orange Cassidy fucking 8 minutes ago? This is crazy. This is why no one watches this shit. You know what I mean? This might be the lowest rated Dynamite of all time. Truly. Pile driver won't end the match. Watch. Won't end the match. Oh, Trent's not trying to pin him. Why? So Cassidy can come and weasel a victory back? Fuck, man. So fucking stupid. It drives me nuts. I want this. The show should have opened with the Bucks again going, hey, guess what, dipshits? We're still running shop here. And guess what? We made a great match. Hey, hey, remember how we just randomly made a match for Swerve? Guess what, Swerve? We don't fucking like you still. And now he's just got a face-to-face with Christian after Christian attacked him. I don't know, man. I guess that's okay, but it's where's the Bucks to go? You know what? Maybe they'll come out and attack Kenny, whatever. Kenny's probably going to revoke his EVP status, but there should just be more of hey, Edge, we don't like you, fucking, you're going to get Brody King and Malachi in a handicap tonight, or just something continue telling that story. They just show an intro of just the Bucks. Imagine you're just tuning in, you're a casual. That's the intro, is just the Bucks and Jack Perry. And you're just no explanation. You're like, dude, I'm not watching this show. Like, why the fuck would I watch this? And then Orange Cassidy comes out first thing. And now he's cheating. Everyone's a tweener. Now Cassidy exposes the buckle. So Cassidy cheats and uses the buckle and just beats Trent. 0 heat. What does this do for Orange? Why would you do this? Jesus Christ. Like, I have to X that out. Everybody at Pro Wrestle Times on X. If you don't follow me already, I have to X that out. Like, what does that do for anybody? Having the face Orange Cassidy beat Trent, the heel who needs heat by cheating. Fucking so dumb. No storylines. Nothing. Nada, guys. Now Trent attacks him again. Well, didn't he already attack him and shit? Like, isn't he already beat up the best friend? So why not? Oh, but we got to keep Orange Cassidy strong. Bro, no one cares. He's not strong. Drives me nuts. The HPN with a $5 super chat. Wait, AEW has Megan Bayne on their payroll? Why is she not their number one girl? Round of applause. Because Megan Bayne, and guys, we also have somebody joining us, a friend of the show. You all know him. You all love him. His name is Awful Wrestling. Round of applause. Yeah, Megan Bayne.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, my bro. We
Awesome.
can hear you. Megan Bayne should be used, isn't used. Who knows, man? Who knows what the fuck they're doing? Who knows why this match is going on? Who even knows what's going on here in Edmonton? Thank you so much
Phil,
for the super chat.
Was this a no disqualification match, Orange Cassidy and Trent Beretta?
No, it wasn't.
Okay,
But
so why
I
the
guess
fuck
they
were they out in
decided
this?
that-
Yeah, really. Like, they ended up in the stands. The ref got no burn. They completely no sold the ref on everything. This match was pretty goddamn bad. Of
And
course,
then
they started out
Cassidy,
with
the underdog
trading
baby
blows.
face cheated to fucking
Yeah.
win the match, dude. I mean, that's heat you should have put on Trent. He already beat them up. He isn't getting any more heat doing hardcore shit to Cassidy when we've seen Cassidy do all this dumb hardcore shit in the past. Fuck.
Yeah.
I'm frustrated at this Dynamite already early, dude. Sorry, what were you saying?
No, that's all I got. I mean, the trading blows without even a lockup in the beginning of this match. I was just like, up, it's all downhill from here. And of course,
wait, what? So Cassidy's on his feet. He's eating fucking 9 pile drivers and got pile drivered on the stairs, and he's to his feet. He should be dead. He should be on a gurney. He should be Tony Khan in a fucking neck brace at the NFL draft. He took a pile driver on the fucking steel stairs. He took like 2 pile drivers in the fucking match. And he's just here with Don Callis. What the fuck? Is Trent the good guy or the bad guy? He pile drived him on the stairs, but fucking Cassidy cheated to win and is walking off with Don Callis. This isn't good storytelling either. This isn't compelling. This is, I'm gonna turn this shit off in about 2 seconds because it's fucking dumb. I'm so sorry, Awful. Go ahead.
They opened Dynamite with Orange Cassidy. You already know what this was going to be like. This now, see, I'm on the pirate ship, so I might have a late delay. I just got Trent Beretta pile driving Orange Cassidy right on the steel steps.
There you go, man. So yeah, that and like it doesn't make sense. None of that whole thing doesn't make sense. And think about this. Okay, hold on. Here's the Bucks. Okay, let's pay attention to this. This should have opened the show live. This should have opened the show live, guys.
Turn it up, Phil.
Yeah. I'll turn it up for you fools. They're calling people marks. Ironic. Hopefully you guys can hear that.
Mm-hmm. How are you, by the way? You all right?
Me? How am I doing just in life?
Yeah.
I am doing, honestly, really, really well, dude.
Good.
Really well,
Awesome.
man. Yes, things are doing really well, and the channel's incredible, bro. Over 3K subs. How about you, man? How are you doing?
Doing great. A lot of work in my head. A lot of work ahead for me. So
yeah, that's what
I'm
it is.
blessed for that.
I just am working working, and I'm blessed, you know, like I truly am blessed, but it is tiresome, and then just grinding like full time on the channel, but
Right.
I love it so much, man. It's
good shit.
Yeah, it's
All
really
right. So
really
far,
going good.
I guess the Young Bucks have cut their little promo.
That should have opened the show where they're like, hey, because this is the thing too, awful. The show opens, and remember how last week the Bucks kicked things off with, they're like, we're taking over the show. Here's the new intro to Dynamite. And then it's like just them and Jack Perry and Okada and shit. Well, this episode just opens with that, and then Orange Cassidy comes out. So imagine and then this empty ass Edmonton building, right? So imagine you are watching this show and that's what you see. And then now they're showing the package and doing Perry's promo and showing the Bucks in the car. They should have opened the show with all of this.
Right.
They opened it with the Cassidy match. People just shut your show off. And now, instead of watching,
why is there parking? Why is there parking for Tony Khan?
They should have tried to hook the big bangers in with all of this shit and recapping what happened, and then get them hooked, and then do the fucking match. But they're goddamn dummies. Sorry, what are you saying?
Why did they have a parking spot for Tony Khan if he's not supposed to be traveling anywhere?
Because this shit doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense ever. And Jack Perry was just dumping water all over his face. He's like, we're going to change the world without you. Talking to Tony Khan.
Right.
Tony just made a sacrifice, or Kenny. Either way, it's fucking dumb.
Right.
Kenny Omega, important announcement up next. What do you think the announcement is? I think that he's going to resign as an EVP.
Yeah. Or Tony Khan made him a writer.
Oh God, please no. I think they already tried that. So during the commercial break, guys, let's take a delve into something. And while I have awful here, it's perfect timing. Let's take a look at somebody. Yo, listen. The Acclaim, top of the chain. So I bet you know the name. So Max Caster had this to say about pretty much just buried the way AEW's been handling these. Now CVV records these in, he records them. I think he's still a trios champ at this point. So he records them a while back and then takes a while to drop them. Right. But
Gotcha.
either way, he's talking about, how he doesn't really, I don't know, just his thoughts on that stuff, on how AEW constantly brings up WWE. And also it should be noted that Max Caster has the term or the phrase best wrestler alive trademarked. Nobody can be called the best wrestler alive in the world of pro wrestling except for Max Caster. So he's working half gimmick, half real in this interview. Like some parts you can tell he's clearly doing gimmick. In parts like this, you can tell he's being pretty real. George Captor for $5, round of applause, says AEW absolutely has no follow-up on anything sad. Yeah, and then they formatted it backwards. The fucking Bucks should have opened the show with Kenny and Jack Perry and all that shit, and then it should have went into a match that wasn't so long and go through commercial breaks and da-da-da-da. That's what it should have been. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. We're going to play Max Caster here. Here's his thoughts on just,
our popular
bringing up WWE all the time.
popularity speaks for itself.
What about when you reference WWE?
Sure. Yeah, that's a double-edged sword. Because you can get them on some things and it'll be a good burn, but you're also putting more light on their product, which they don't.
So why do it?
Already, however many years they've been in business, 50, 60, 70, if you count all the way back to the territories, they had that credibility built in, that longevity. So do they need that from the 4 or 5-year-old wrestling promotion in AEW? No, they really.
Boom, right there, right? That's all anyone's saying. That's all anyone's trying to say a lot of the time. Kenny Omega's in the hospital. He's about to make a major announcement. Let's react to it. Okay. He's not in Edmonton. He's in the hospital.
15 years, you guys were like family to me. And here we are.
Hopefully you guys can hear this.
Here I am, the ER.
Kenny's in the ER.
Not to take what you did to me personally.
Check the OR. You like it so far?
Thank you. Reminding me that what you did wasn't personal, it was business.
So he's thanking the Bucks. See, this serious Kenny's great, man. Jesus.
I guess that would mean I have business to take care of too before I get all this taken care of.
It's kind of silly. He's just like in a hospital gown.
May 26th marks the 5-year anniversary of where it all started. Double or Nothing.
Double or Nothing, May 26th.
Since you guys like to stroll to the beat of your own drum, since you like to make your own rules, why not just throw the rule book out the window?
No rules, of course. Anarchy in the arena. Boo. Boo.
What is this anarchy in the arena?
The Elite versus Team AEW. Man, get
What?
the fuck out of here with that shit. So Kenny and FTR. Why didn't they just do this with CM Punk? Jesus.
CM Punk was hard to work with. When is this match supposed to happen?
Double or Nothing, May 26th.
Oh, God.
Or 20th or whatever they said.
Jack, I must bid you adieu. Goodbye. Mwah. Good night.
So
it's things
him
like that
and
will kill a promo right then and there. Mwah. Good night. Shut up.
So it's FTR with two people. No, so Kenny's not even in the match, you guys. So Kenny just made a match as an EVP. FTR and two random guys that you don't know yet are gonna take on the Elite, the Young Bucks, with you know what I mean, Jack Perry and Katsuchika Okada. Bro,
gee, who could that be? It's gonna be Adam Page, isn't it?
Oh my God, bro, it's so fucking stupid. Like, that's the dumbest thing ever. The only thing dumber would be them bringing up WWE. Serena Deeb is out here. She's about to talk, but let's continue and listen to what Max Caster has to say.
Don't. And at a certain point, you know, people would say, hey, stop doing that. And I listened. I really try not to do it anymore because it just creates more eyes on their product and not ours. It makes us seem second rate. I think it.
Boom. It makes you guys seem second rate. Like when you book Anarchy in the Arenas with FTR and two random people. Is it going to be Hangman? I don't know.
It also makes fans go, why are you watching the other product? To be familiar with this stuff, to then be able to create lyrics about it.
Sure. I mean, there were certain things that had nothing to do with the TV show. Reference Vince McMahon on, I think, the very first time that any sort of allegations came out. When he retired, I referenced him. And that was like news. It was news. So I thought, you know, that's a little bit better than me saying their TV show, they did this.
Yeah.
On their internet show, they did this. It's way different. John Laurinaitis had done something. I think that's different than reacting to their TV show. So
and just Dynamite update, Serena Deeb's just setting up whatever she's setting up. Sorry, Awful. What were you going to say?
On this Max Caster thing, it's real simple. Do his raps put asses in seats? Like he's talking about this double-edged sword. He's talking about on one end, it's a great bird, but on the other end, it's referencing the WWE. Okay, well, don't do it, you jackass. Especially if the third part of that sword is it's not bringing in anybody into the arenas.
Well, people, they are really over, and he talks about in this interview a lot. He's like, we have all this newfound success.
Are they really over?
I don't know, man. I think if you took that act and brought it to like NXT, they would fit right in, and I think they would get super over, man. I really do. And with the AEW fans, they are, and they were like the highest selling like shirt seller and merch seller and all of these things among AEW wrestlers and stuff like that. So I would say like besides Athena, who was kind of already over because of her time in WWE as Ember Moon. Like Max Caster and Anthony Bowens are the only guys to ever go start on like Dark and Elevation and actually get over and become like something that the fans cheered for. And now Tony booked them poorly. Like when they were white hot, they went with Swerve and fucking Keith Lee for some reason, you know, but I don't know, man. So their whole I like their gimmick. I think they'd get over. I love the Acclaimed. I really do. Everybody loves the Acclaimed. The Acclaim, top of the chain. But listen. This interview is really good, and he is saying sort of what you're saying. He's like, yeah, like I should stop bringing them up, or like I will stop bringing them up, or he's like, you know, I try to bring it up only when like it's topical, you know. If like NBC's talking about Vince, then I'll bring it up. But he did say it's dumb. And he also does sort of shit on Shelton Benjamin in a minute here.
I would pick and
Not
choose.
shit on him, but he's just like, why the fuck would we want him here? Like Max Caster seems to have like a pretty good head screwed on him. And shout out CVV, by the way. If you don't, check out Chris Van Vliet. I heard it's not Vliet, but Chris Van Vliet, a fellow Canuck. And he does a great show. Like he's one of the best interviewers for sure.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Honestly, it was never a good idea because
I grew up watching him. He was on like Much Music and shit when I was young, you know, like he was, yeah, he was like a guy, like a local
MTV
guy, you know?
stuff. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Just, you know, create shots back and forth. And now you see them taking shots at us. And of course they are. If you know, they're running hot and anyone's going to ask them about AEW, of course they're going to take shots because we took all the shots at them. Fair is fair. I'm cool with that, but when it comes back around, you know, no one's going to complain.
So when the rap started out, there were no parameters. Now it sounds like there's some parameters here.
There's parameters that I put on myself, but the only feedback I got.
So basically he just goes into like them not censoring him, but telling him like, yo, chill out on some of the rhymes. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that happened for a little while. He got in trouble. On Dynamite, they just set up Serena Deeb versus Toni Storm, which I'm down as shit with. But again, it's just like, oh, it's a great match. But at least Serena Deeb cut an impassioned promo. She looks like a star. And then you had Toni Storm come out there. And she does great character work. Like she's the most over woman in AEW, and she could take this act to any company and it would work. And she just sold her ass off for Deeb there. One punch, she just flat back bumped right on the stage and is acting like she just got stone cold stuttered, you know. So that's really good. Luther's got to carry her away. I'm into this. So yeah, positive of AEW right there. Deeb and Toni. If they give them the time to work out their characters, etc., I'm super down with that. Any thoughts on the Max Caster stuff here, though? Awful.
He's simply the fact that you're being interviewed for your raps and nothing more, like not your wrestling ability, not really so much your promo ability, or the fact that you're able to attract a lot of fans that would not have been fans had you not been around. This Max Caster guy, he thinks himself a little too above it for
you get
taste.
that you get that from him, that sense of like,
entitlement.
Sure, yeah. Oh man, damn. Here
What's
we
he
go.
ever done in the business?
Well, he sold a lot of merch and shit, you know.
Okay,
I don't
great.
know.
Sold some
Yeah,
t-shirts.
I don't know. I know, but that's a lot of it is that, right? Like if fucking LA Knight's selling the most shirts, we all go, yo, LA Knight's selling all the shirts. So like if he's outselling like fucking Jericho, if like the Acclaim's outselling like Edge and shit, that's noteworthy, is it not? Even if they're in AEW, like there's no reason Edge there. If Kurt Angle goes to TNA and DJ
top 5 merch seller.
his fucking shirts, that tells you something still, right? No,
he's top 10 merch seller.
I can't verify that for sure, but the Acclaimed, they've done good business. Yeah, I guess if you want to, like, let's be honest, AEW and Punk are.
I kid because I love.
Okay. So Harley Cameron's coming out, and she's just in the Outcast now. They realize Saraya can't wrestle as much as they thought she was going to be able to, but this Harley Cameron, my. So Max Caster, though, he talks about Shelton Benjamin, and CVV's like, why you got to do Shelty like that?
Good enough. We don't want you.
Where was it? I forget.
You know, you get
Sure.
one, I get one.
Sure, but
Oh, here, yeah. So I just missed it. It's So he asked him, like, why'd you have to do him dirty like that on X? And Max is just like,
This is going to turn into Steiner math now.
it could.
Is this now 33 and a third?
It feels like that. Some matches I don't come back sweating, but
they're talking
I think
about
the drama's a little bit lessened in that, and I don't think it's what everyone expected. This is one thing I learned when that comes up.
It's coming.
in
I
professional
forget. I
wrestling.
didn't timestamp it.
Fans want to go. They'd be great in AEW. They'd be great in AEW. We only have so much TV time. Some of that needs to go to me. I don't want all of it. I'm not selfish, but I'm the best. So if
Very humble, too.
of course,
Yeah.
but if people start calling for Shelton Benjamin or Motor City Machine Guns or whoever, it doesn't matter. And not to single anyone out, my sentiment
But you did.
is, why would we want them? We already have the best roster. We already have the best wrestler alive. If you want any,
Yeah, I did that this week on X2. I was like, I don't mean to single anyone out, but Will Washington, isn't he supposed to be like helping with the storylines? Like they've been so bad the last how long in AEW? Like, what is he doing? You know, man, this girl's like
What has he
titties are
done?
falling out. Damn, this girl with the green hair is talking. No, she's like, come here and dap me up to Saraya. This girl with the green hair who almost whipped her titties out at the start of Dynamite. But anyways, yeah, so Caster goes on to talk about, like, why would we want more WWE wrestlers to come here? And he makes a good point. Like,
anyone to come in and do whatever role they're going to do, I bet I can do it better. I bet Anthony could do it better. I bet we have a guy on there that's not even getting used on our roster that could do it better. So what are we really doing? We're just bringing in stars that were made
what are we doing here, Bappa? Any homeless cats in the chat or what?
in other places to do what? Less work ourselves? I'll work for that. If you want me to fill someone's role, I can work and do that. It's not going to be overnight. It's not going to be, okay, Max is now this guy. No, but I could work there. But I it's insulting to me as a veteran and a top wrestler and one of the most popular wrestlers that fans will go.
So he's saying he's one of the most popular
Jesus Christ.
wrestlers. He's a veteran, a top wrestler.
Mhm.
So maybe you're onto something.
Yeah, he's completely self-absorbed as a talent. I mean,
Well,
did he
does
work
have
in the
best wrestler-
WWE at any
does
point?
have best, yeah, he did actually, but he does have best wrestler alive trademarked. So
Okay,
there's that.
good for him.
But yeah, he did actually. Do you want to know what he did in the WWE?
Please.
When Sami Zayn was the conspiracy theorist and he taunted Bobby Lashley by bringing out his quote two sisters, Max Caster was one of the guys in the dresses playing one of Bobby Lashley's sisters.
So many things make sense.
Go.
now.
Well, we want this other guy now. Why? You have the best. Literally, the whole roster. You have the top of wrestling. So
You've got to understand how people read this on Twitter. They read this and they
you
go,
jerked the curtain
he's
on
saying,
that show
you know,
with the best wrestlers in the world. Like, give me a break. This guy's a nobody. He's really like, first, I'm sorry. I mean, I hate to poo-poo all over it, but Max Caster, I mean, come on, Chris. It must have been an off weekend for you, my man.
Oh my god, yeah, chat's lighting him up too. We have Chris VV though calls him out as well. So
you're not good enough. We don't want you here. We're full. That's how people are reading it.
Yeah, but it's true. Prove that you're better than me.
I mean, Shelton Benjamin.
yeah,
I mean, he's
it's like,
fantastic.
Guy now.
how the fuck is Shelton Benjamin supposed to prove he's better than you if he can't go there? But also, it's Shelton Benjamin. Like,
You've got to
That's the
understand how
disconnect.
people read this on Twitter. They read this and they go, stop it.
Look, he's good. prove that you're better than me.
I mean, Shelton Benjamin. I mean, he's fantastic.
He's okay.
Stop it.
Like he's good.
Stop it.
He's good, and he's
now.
got a lot of accolades in his career. But realistically, what does he bring to the table that, let's say, Josh Woods couldn't do? Who is a
Josh
Woods.
Josh Woods.
Who was that? The guy who sets up the ring? Who the fuck is that? Does he hold up the lights?
Dude.
Is he the
Bro.
boom mic guy?
Oh my God, Josh Woods couldn't do like he
The
couldn't,
golf cart driver?
Shelton Benjamin helped innovate like a bunch of those Money in the Bank ladder spots that like made it into video games and that people replicate to this day. Josh Woods couldn't fucking springboard off the top rope, wrestle Shawn Michaels, fucking all this. Like, he's so green. Josh Woods specifically is like, yeah, he's a great amateur like shoot wrestler, but he's a guy who's so green when you watch him. Like, oh yeah, he was a great pure champion, I guess. Like if you're into ROH, like a uber mark, I guess, yeah. But like what has he done? Like Benjamin's innovated, an OVW graduate in one of the greatest classes of, like all, like it's just.
And he's a
great.
durable wrestler. He'll be a great addition to the roster. He'll be able to help a lot of those guys in the back. And Max Caster's intimidated because he's going to take up TV time. Well, I mean, goddamn. There are so many people in your realm that have taken up a lot of your TV time, and they're better than you. What can be said?
Damn, man. And he talks about in trios matches, like he goes back not even sweating from them. And I'm not shit. See, I came into this happy about Caster. I was like, man, he's real confident. And he kind of keeps it real. But it's just funny how chat's lighting him up, and they're like, what the fuck is this guy even talking about right now?
Right.
It's like, he kind of is Barry and Shelton. Is he working those? What? Like, does that's what
Is his first program going to be against Shelton Benjamin? Because if that's the case, then all of this makes sense. But otherwise, no.
Yeah.
If you're just going to shit on Shelton Benjamin, who's a goddamn veteran in the business, then come on now. You deserve to be seen as a joke.
This is this is another thing he said in the interview that might add or might explain a little bit of his perception of himself, is that like John Cena texts him. And like has texted him before, like paragraphs being like, "You're the shit. Keep doing your thing." Awesome. Like yeah, and he's posted him on his Instagram and stuff like that. And he's, I don't know. He says that people have validated him backstage that he looks up to as like some of the greats. But he said his greatest of all time wrestler in his mind is Nigel McGuinness.
Mm-hmm. Oh God. Okay.
What do you think of that? Yeah, so this whole it's like he's either really working everybody, or this is just I don't know. It's silly. So HPN for $5, round of applause, says Triple H should sign Max and Anthony Bowens, I think. Then put him in a triple threat match with Gunther and Ilya Dragunov. Then Max can find out who the best is. So you want him to get beat up like fucking Antonio Inoki style, bro? Come on, that doesn't prove shit. But definitely they should sign him up, because that gimmick, the Acclaimed, would be so good in NXT. In that like locker room, campusy, college type vibe. Do you not agree, Awful? The Acclaimed in NXT.
What does Max Caster have that anybody in the NXT roster doesn't have?
He has size, really good size. He is a big dude. He's a big guy. He is. He actually is. And then Bowens, like if you pair him
wonder
with Bowens,
wonder what his backstage attitude would be.
I don't know, but he can rap. He does have charisma.
Whoa.
These are things other people can't do, though. These are things other people can't do, man. You
then the bell rings.
And you have Anthony Bowens, who is in tremendous shape, is actually a great worker, especially if they just teach him to slow it the fuck down. But also he's like a guy who I don't think he'd have problems slowing it down. I think he just does all of his shit quick because he gets such limited TV time and is stuffed in a 6-man tag match. Mariah May just beat Harley Cameron, by the way. Cheeks cheeking everywhere, but and Saraya's attacking Mariah May. So we're gonna get probably Mariah May and Saraya down the line. And Toni Storm got knocked out by Deeb, so she won't be there to help May. So now is May going babyface? while Storm is the heel against Deeb, even though they're all on a team. I don't know. Oh, no. It's Mina Shirakawa. Oh, man, she's got some good jungas, as Quentin Rampage Jackson would call them. And she's from Stardom.
Look at
and
Max
she's
Caster.
here.
I wonder what kind of perfume he wears.
I don't know, man. But
Nothing.
No, don't be sorry. I'm just looking. These girls are going to kiss, bro. Lesbian. Yeah, hot lesbian action. We love it here at PWT. Yeah, they're going to make out and kiss. That's what they do. Yeah, because it breaks the internet. No, they didn't. Yeah, so this girl's really, really great. I was putting her over really hard. I'm sure you guys can see why, but she actually wrestles really, really well, and I like what her and Mariah May are doing here. Stardom truly in the past, and Rossi Ogawa breeds these women to be superstars. Imagine these two girls as like Tiffany Stratton's goons on the main roster, and this girl can really work too. Mariah May too. Her in ring, I'll never bury her ever. I just think the way they brought her in now, what they're doing is great, where she's like making out with this Mina girl all the time. I'm down with all that, but it seems as though they're turning that face while keeping the leader of their little crew, Toni Storm, heel. It's just the problem with AEW is they don't establish like this faction's heel, this faction's face, da. You asked what type of perfume Max Caster wears. I don't know, but him and Mariah May are flirting all the time on X. So all I'm saying is if he's pulling that, I want some of that perfume too, Daddy. No, but yeah, I think these guys would work well in NXT, like really well. And now we have, thank you for the $5 super chat. Now we have the Gun Club, the Bang Bang Gang, and they each have 3 belts. So there's 3 of them who each have 3 belts. So they have 3 sets of trios titles for 3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Insane. Makes no goddamn sense. And just way too much, undermining their own belts, to say the least. Let's hear what else Max Caster has to say, though.
A heavyweight champion NCAA wrestler.
Maybe there's just a nicer way of saying it that wouldn't make people so upset on Twitter.
Well, Twitter's not a real place, so
We're back
who cares?
to that, yeah.
It's not a real place. I think people are shocked when I'm honest, because the only time they really hear me talk is into a microphone and I'm telling jokes.
Yeah.
But if I'm honest about my career, what's wrong with that? Apply it to anyone else's job. Apply it to your job. If someone comes in and goes, I am Chris Van Vliet number 2 now, and I want to interview everyone before you do.
There's a lot of those. And you know what I say?
There is. Yeah.
I say clapping for others does not take away from my own success. I clap
That's goddamn right.
for everybody.
Sure.
I'm excited for them.
Sure, but if they start taking your YouTube page and delete your videos a little bit,
They're going to delete my videos?
or maybe you get less interview time with the people because they have to go run next door.
And that happens. And I'm like, hey, so-and-so, that was a great.
Yeah, wait, what did he mean by imagine if they delete your I guess like take your TV time away a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's
Max
not
Caster,
really...
the Doomer.
interview with this person. And I know that I'll get another one on the next time. You get
Sure.
one, I get one.
Sure, but maybe there is no next time for me. If someone takes my spot.
Maybe there is no
Oh,
tomorrow.
This is Max is so dumb when you hear, yeah, dude.
I mean,
I love it, dude. I love it. That's why I wanted to bring it to the show.
Someone takes my TV time.
how
When
old
is my
Max
next
Caster?
time?
And just to be clear, this
He's like 28, I want to say. He's not that old.
Oh my
at
God, really?
all. Yeah, he's young.
Damn,
He's a-
maturity,
and his dad-
immaturity goes that far up.
And his
It's
dad
crazy.
played in the NFL. He's a real athlete, like he's not just a schlub.
Right.
Like I'm telling you, him in NXT with Bowens would be phenomenal.
Okay.
It would be
No need to
absolutely
convince me,
phenomenal.
my man. I just think
And
as
they'd
of
run
right
the
now,
whole
Max
tag
Caster
division.
is not. He's not. He's
Them
not on
and
my
the
radar.
Guns. Them and the Guns, they need to get the fuck to NXT like today. Because
Mhm.
the Guns as well, the Gun Boys in NXT, man, would that be a good act?
isn't just a Shelton Benjamin thing.
No,
This isn't
not at all.
anybody, everybody.
Not at all. I will say right here, great wrestler. And I respect him a lot. But why would I campaign for anyone to join the company when we already have the best wrestlers. I'm here. Put me in that spot, and it'll be great.
And it'll be great. Like he literally quotes Tony Khan, like he looks at the camera. I'm here. Put me in that spot. It'll be great.
I'm here. Put me in that spot, and it'll be great.
It'll be great.
But if I'm going to sit here and go, wow, yeah, we need more on this roster. No, we don't.
But then what happens every time someone gets signed?
I'm insulted. I really am. I want to see them prove themselves. And, you know, talking about the people that we've signed recently, I think Will Ospreay has proved himself.
Has Will Ospreay proved himself awful?
In the ring, yeah, but on the ratings and the popularity scale, no.
Awful, I must say, you know, you're one of my favorite guests. I don't know if I've ever told you that.
Oh, thank you.
You are truly. I'm not even gassing you up. You are truly one of my favorite people to have on the show because you're just so like cynical and like I love that. You because it's a dose of reality. It is, you know, and it keeps the conversation so interesting. I never know what angle you're going to come from, and I love that.
I know exactly what this Max Caster guy is. This is his chance to vent. He's too pussy to say this shit in front of Tony Khan each and every Wednesday when he's sitting at catering or Friday or whatever the fuck it is. But come on now. He's going to say this to Chris Van Vliet, but why aren't you? I think I said this in Marv's podcast. You got to kick. You got to punch. You got to knock down doors, and the squeaky wheel always gets the oil. And if you're not squeaking to the right people, this is why you're sitting at the couch at Chris Van Vliet, bitching and whining that you don't get TV time because you don't bitch and whine to the right people. What do you think? Chris Van Vliet is going to help you out in that regard? Like, oh, hey, Tony, the guy told me, like, give me a break.
No, he's not Meltzer. That's Meltzer's job.
Give him all the credit in the world. He's an
Don't worry, chat. Don't get triggered. This clip's almost done, but this is incredibly entertaining. You cannot lie, guys. This is great.
Amazing wrestler. Okada, I think once he's situated in the country and he's on TV every week, we will see. But that doesn't take away from how great of a wrestler he is. He's here. We got to live with it. But if you had asked me before
they're interviewing Max Caster,
Max,
like
do you
he's
think
fucking
Okada
Harley
should be
Race.
here? I go, like if you want.
Like he's a beacon of knowledge and wisdom. Like, oh, now we're going to hear from Max Caster, world-renowned auteur. Oh, this fucking guy.
So
He's already been given too much mic time.
They're running a promo on Dynamite in 2019. Visionaries Matthew and Nick Jackson started the AEW, yeah, and the EVPs. This coming Double or Nothing.
But I could do that for you.
What if I say, do you think Adam Copeland should be here?
I think he's proven himself.
I mean, of course, he's a Hall of Famer.
No, he's proven himself in AEW.
Like,
okay, the Bucks are talking, and they have the tag belts. They're calling Kenny a fraud. Here, I'll turn it up here.
please.
What is next?
They have the format sheet.
From the world champion. All right. In fact, there he is up there.
We're about to hear from.
Good luck. Good luck.
We're about to hear from Swerve and Christian. So Prince Nana's going to do his dance as Swerve comes out. Shout out the champ. Shout out Swerve. Hopefully him and Christian get something good out of this. It was silly how Nick Wayne's mom was taller than Swerve, their world champion. Someone tell her, don't put fucking heels on. Andre Adams for $2. The fuck is he smoking? Talking about that. Yes, sir.
I'll be honest. When he was brought in, I was skeptical.
Thank you for the $2
As you go,
super chat. Thank you, Andre, for the $2 super chat. But it's good to see you in the chat tonight, man.
you know, he's done so much. What else could he really want to do? This is my company. Again, you're stealing our TV time, but he's proven himself to be a leader and someone who's going to go out there and put in the work in the ring and pull guys aside. And he's pulled me aside and said, hey, I saw your match. Here's what I think. And I go, thank you so much. And I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of guys who wouldn't do that.
What if, to play
Who, Punk?
devil's advocate here, what if Okada, Ospreay, Adam Copeland, because of the ones we just named, what if they bring more eyes to TV, which then bring more eyes to you?
They could.
He has
Don't
no
know if they
idea
have.
about the wrestling business.
But look, he
No
says it for real
fucking
though. He
clue.
goes, he goes, they could do that. He's like, but I don't know if they have. So he keeps it real though. He's like,
They have. You know, they have.
The ones we just named.
he says it though. He goes, they could. I don't know if they have though. And
Right.
it's like, oh shit. Like,
What if they
a
bring more?
little earlier in the interview, he talks about he can fill roles. How about you fill this one role, putting asses in seats? Can you do that, buddy? Can you do that, Max? If you can fill that role, then yeah, I'll believe everything you say.
More eyes to TV, which then bring more eyes to you?
They could. I don't know if they have.
Have you?
You know,
Fucker.
wrestling and TV is a lot about how you make people feel, but not just once, over a long period of time. So these guys can come in and there's some general excitement when they first show up, but are they going to sustain that? And we have to wait and see. But
Does this motherfucker
we've
look in the mirror
worked-
and ask himself those questions?
well, here's the thing, bro. Like, it's not
This
his fault
guy.
Tony doesn't consistently push this guy. Like, if they could build him and Bowens in the stars, and they don't fucking do it because it's incompetent
my
looking. So
God.
I don't put it all on him. I
Somebody
don't
said in the
anyway.
chat, you're like he's the modern day Bill Watts. Like, come on now.
so hard to get to where we are in the company.
And Swerve just cut a promo. He's like, I'm the modern day Connor McDavid or whatever. And then Christian interrupts him. It's just more of the same old same, guys.
From literally ground up, homegrown, purely. And then to just have guys who were stars somewhere else, did their whole career somewhere else, come in and now they're perceived to be on top of us. It's an insult to me. I'm
This
speaking
guy.
for me. I don't want to speak for my partners or anything like that. It's an insult to me because of all the work we've put in. If other people help along the way, sure. But not many of these guys have ever campaigned to wrestle me and Anthony.
Come on, man. You would get more enjoyment and education from Chris Van Vliet interviewing the goddamn Brooklyn.
He's saying, but here's the thing, though. He's saying that like these guys are coming in and none of them are even campaigning to wrestle us.
Because why would they want to? You're not bringing in eyeballs. You're not
Well,
filling
he
in your
explains
role.
what he says is that he sort of alludes to that people don't want to wrestle him because first off, him and Bowens will look really good against them. And not only that, they'll be super over with everyone chanting for them, and he'll cook them on the mic with the fucking raps and shit. And so people sort of avoid wrestling them because it might undermine them and make them not.
Oh, come on now. What he's got these super powered fucking rap verses that kill the vibe of any wrestler they go against. Give me a
but
break.
that's what some wrestlers are like scared of is sort of what he alluded to. And he sort of put Punk over, saying like Punk's one of his all-time favorites, and Punk let Caster roast him twice. Really personally, you know, so you see that like, no, like a guy who's secure like Punk exemplifies like, nah, it's all good. It won't kill your momentum or anything. But hey, there might be some vets who are like, I don't want to get cooked by this kid. Why would I let him get over on me on the mic? You know,
He's not
like,
getting over on him because he's obviously going to be looking at the lights at the end of the match. I mean, he's obviously.
I see his perspective too.
I don't believe him.
And I think there's a reason for that. It's one, because they don't want to get embarrassed via me on the microphone.
Oh,
and
God.
They know that we are younger and hungrier and ready to go. And
perish the thought.
You know,
I
they
made
want to be in their
WrestleMania,
comfort zone,
but I don't want to
wherever
get
they
cooked
are,
by
and I
Max
get that.
Caster.
But
dude, Come on, man. These guys would be great in NXT, bro. Come on. They'll be big stars one day, I promise.
We have the tendency to bring people outside their comfort zone. So I, again, take that personally when me and Anthony are the number one thing in wrestling, period. And then none of the top wrestlers are saying, you know, we can actually better AEW if we put on a top level fight with the two top teams, or, you know, two of the top teams. FTR was the only one team that, you know, agreed to wrestle us, and that was great. And again, I respect them for that. But there wasn't that like clamor.
So he's straight up saying like teams won't agree to wrestle them. Like, what the fuck? What's going on in AEW? So right now, Swerve's cutting, like he's just been kind of slicing up Christian on the mic. It's been really good. Brian Cage and Toa Leona, or whatever his name is, just came in to get Swerve's back. I thought they were all heels. I don't know. They all look heelish. It's a weird thing that's going on here. And how much do you want to bet Christian's banging that Nick Wayne's mom? Just kidding. Sorry, let's continue.
From everyone in the locker room, like, put me with Acclaimed, put me with Acclaimed. None. And I again take that very, very personally, because that shows that people are afraid to try and help the company as a whole.
You think they're worried about what you might say?
Right there. Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yep.
My question is, why are people turning down matches with the Acclaimed? What kind of creative contract do they have going on in which they can turn down matches? And doesn't that also undermine the power and the leverage of Tony Khan himself? This guy puts an Acclaim versus whoever the fuck on the card, and what, they just turn it down? We don't want to face the Acclaim because we don't want to get cooked by his super fire rap lyrics. Give me a fucking break. This guy is working, but he's working terribly for himself.
So, guys, Brian Cage just turned on Swerve, and so did Toa Leone and this Bishop Khan. Awesome.
Okay.
This is so good. This is good. Now they're all beating him down. I hope it's not like Christian hired them. It should just be Christian with his army of all these guys. But no, I don't know. They're jumping Swerve. They're beating the shit out of them. Awesome. Now, he needs to do something to redeem invading a baby's crib. Okay? He needs to go do like 100 Make-A-Wishes this month. You know what I mean? To make up for that shit. For real, dude, because otherwise, like, there's no like growth from that. Like, he stood on business even on X and on TV and was like, yeah, and lock your doors when people called it out. And it's like, he's got to do something to redeem that other than just getting jumped by other assholes. Because he's still not fully redeemed. But
that's as nuanced as Tony Khan's booking is going to get. That's how he believes that you're going to create a baby face, get beat down by heels. There it is.
I'm so glad they broke this faction up, though. I've been saying it since day one. The faction should be Swerve, Nana, Will Hobbs, and that Harley Cameron girl, because she raps and sings, and they should be
Phil,
like
at this point, there should be no faction. Swerve Strickland and Nana, that should be enough. There should be no other also rans behind him or anything. He's the world champion now. You've got to build this guy up. You know, the man is not making the belt at this point. The belt is trying to make the man.
He's got a row. You're right about that, and he's got a row of monster heels though to beat and to fight through. Because you know, if they do Brian Cage versus Swerve next week, or
bottom line, I don't think he needs Will Hobbs.
I think you're right about that. I think you're right, but he's going to fight all these guys. Like, he can fight all these guys next week. These guys look like a knockoff Bloodline, but if they're in the Bloodline some way, then shout them out. But the family tree runs deep, so not trying to diss anyone, but they look kind of like knockoff Bloodline, not going to lie.
Yep.
But these guys look threatening, and somehow Christian manipulated them. Christian just having Luchasaurus behind him in this gimmick just sort of kills the whole family thing for me. It just looks too silly.
So hold on, I'm not watching. I'm not watching, but the question is, the team of whoever the fuck beat down Swerve Strickland, did they go on the Christian side or what?
No, they're not like fully with Christian, but they're also people that used to be in Swerve's faction. So they were
Right.
like his
Now-
faction mates. So we need an explanation next week. What compelled
okay.
them? Now they didn't walk up the ramp with Christian's team. They're just doing their own thing, walking away on their
Right.
own. So
we got to wait till next week to find out their justification for doing so.
yeah, and I would just love to. I would also, which is cool, but I would also like. I would like to applaud them for breaking that faction up, because I've been calling for it for a while, because it's just like Swerve doesn't need them right now. And okay, so this is what it seems like. The Bucks got to them because the Bucks are applauding. Yeah, they're shaking hands with Christian, so it's like the Bucks put them up to this type shit. So yeah. So Christian and the Bucks have a working relationship, and the Bucks and the Christians have a working relationship. In case you guys
Gotcha, right?
Yeah. So a bitch move. What happened to them? So yeah, they're just running stuff from Gorilla, telling people to tuck their shirts in. The Bucks are doing their okay. Now they're back to the wreckage by the ring. And now Callis is on commentary. Well, how about you're not on commentary? Because we want to know what happened to Orange or whatever. Like, not that I care, but if you're trying to watch the show logically. And we have Christian versus Swerve at Double or Nothing. Wow. So this card's coming together a couple weeks. We'll have to maybe live stream watch that all together, guys. If it's on a Sunday, probably not. But, oh, yeah, it is Sunday. Fuck. Maybe we'll do an Awful Wrestling Twitter Spaces. So here's Max Caster.
Maybe.
Yeah,
we still gonna listen to this nutbag? Go ahead.
Yeah, dude, he's almost done. It was a long rant, but it's gonna.
He's long been done.
You think they're worried about what you might say?
Yeah.
Oh no, sorry, that was it. Yeah. So do you think they're worried about what you're gonna say? And he's like, yeah. And then they go into like, him having to whatever. So that was Max Caster, guys, and our blended in Dynamite reactions. Round of applause for CBV.
Yeah, you guys can come back now. Come back to the channel. Don't run off. Max Caster's done.
Hey man, the views were cruising when he was on the screen there. He's a handsome young fella. So the main event of Double or Nothing is shaping up to be Willow versus Mercedes, is what everyone predicts. Your thoughts on that?
Boy, I can't wait.
Mone, are you ready for Double or Nothing? Of course I'm ready for Double or Nothing. I'm ready for
Willow's on screen. I'm drinking a Red Bull.
Rampage, Collision.
Yeah, so the TBS Championship will... No, I don't think they'll main event with the TBS title. Do you think they're crazy enough to do that?
No. Well, yes, they are crazy enough to do it.
Then Tony can say, our
will.
marquee event, 2 women main eventing the marquee event for the TBS Championship.
God, please don't do that.
And he's trying hard to get the whole television shit over, because I think in his mind, he thinks that like, if Edge is our TNT champ and Mercedes Mone is our TBS champ, and look what they did in WWE, then it'll help his TV deal. What if he main events the TBS title to like try and help his TV deal? Do you think that's me getting too fucking Alex Jones about it? Do you think
that's probably along the same lines that he's got going on. I mean, this guy's a pure ass mark, so I don't. I think he thinks. I think this guy really thinks that Warner Brothers watch is just like, we really need Adam Copeland as our TNT champion or TBS champion, whatever fucking channel it is. But no, this Tony Khan's an idiot, and he's going to prove it in the next few weeks. I don't think he's going to get that TV deal, obviously, from WBD.
You don't, man. That is
nope.
God damn.
Nope,
yeah,
I don't 10
know.
toes
I'm
down
done
on that one.
On it.
They're not getting renewed.
Just the fact that we were speculating on it, people were just getting so triggered and mad about it. Here come the Guns. A brilliant entrance, brilliant music. They have a brilliant look. They just need to get the fuck out of AEW, dude. And they each
why is
AEW
belts. Like the La Brea Tar Pits? Like nothing can be done if they...
I swear Tony
I'm sorry.
listens to PWT, confirmed, and I swear that he like is ribbing me on this show, because the other, like, my joke was like, okay, so each guy, so there's 12 belts. You know, like that was my joke on the show when when they unified. I was like, they need to unify and come out with new trios belts and just get rid of the ROH ones. I was like, and like, what is each guy gonna have? Fucking, they're all gonna come out. There's gonna be 12 belts, and I just said it like in jest, tongue in cheek. You know, I was just
and here we
riffing.
are,
bro. They each have 3 belts. What the fuck? Tony
you're off by
Khan
3.
listens, confirmed. Like for real, man, it's crazy.
You know what we
And
need,
so
guys? We need three belts for each competitor.
So, you know, man, they're about to fight Rocky Romero and Azúcar and I don't know, whatever the fuck. So we're looking at Phil Mark's bookmarks, and in them, speaking of TV deals, Disney and Warner Bros. Discovery are teaming up for a triple play bundle of Disney Plus, Hulu, and Max. Does this, in your mind, lower the chances, or do you like of AEW getting a TV deal or landing on some sort of streaming, or do you think this is better for them, or do you think this is more like, okay, now Max and Warner Bros are linking up with Disney, and now Disney probably won't have a say in the shows, but maybe there is some sort of communication there between them? I know that it wouldn't be, just from working around the biz a little bit, it wouldn't be beyond Disney to reach out to people they work with and go, don't do this or fucking that, or no Disney team up. You know, like it's not above them to do things like that. So what do you think? Do you think this at all affects AEW in any way, shape, or form? Because Max has been floated around and WBD, of course, involved in this deal.
As far as this particular deal between Max and Disney, I'd have to check out the article. But I will say that I think these mergers and these acquisitions or these negotiations are all happening above the head of AEW. Like it's like a child watching 2 parents or 4, the entire family fighting above them, and all they can do is watch. I don't think anything is going to really affect AEW's chances positively or negatively. I think Tony has a narrow-minded view. He wants to get on Max. Max is not thinking about AEW when they're dealing with Disney, if that makes any sense. WBD is not dealing with is not thinking about AEW when they're trying to get their debt solved and trying to make a profit on their end.
So but here's my question, right? Because it says here, like they're going to. So, like, let's just read this. Like, I'll read it. I'm not going to pull the article up. I'll just spit it at you guys. The trio of streaming services will offer the best value in entertainment and an unprecedented selection of content from the biggest and most beloved brands in entertainment, including. So this is what all includes: ABC, CNN, DC, Discovery, Disney, Food. Like, this is what I mean. We're going to get Marvel and DC. Like, you get it all in a bundle, So,
right.
Obviously, they're. It's not like Disney's going to be like, oh no, Warner can't put this on their Max thing, but I just wonder if maybe, I don't know. I just wonder if maybe like this might open up the door to it might be more lucrative. So AEW does get on streaming or something. I'm just throwing that out there as a potential, a possibility, but it includes the Food Network, FX, HBO, HGTV, Hulu, Marvel, Pixar, Searchlight, and many more. And they joined with Fox Corp as well to launch a streaming sports bundle, which is slated to debut this fall. So is AEW included in that sports bundle in any capacity? Do you think that's at all a possibility? Do you think like this means more money or less money to spend and play around with? Like, it seems like they're teaming up to make more money. No,
I think the reason that we haven't heard about a deal being struck to AEW and anybody at this point is because AEW feels like Tony probably feels like he's getting lowballed, and at some point the time is going to tick down to a place where he's going to have to make a real hard decision and lose some money. I don't think he's going to make money on this next deal. I think it's going to be an unprofitable venture. He's going to have to put himself because his value went down in the last 5 years.
Bro, Dave's gonna melt down so hard. I actually can't wait for that. And moving along here. So we talk about I put a tweet out there saying, Wembley, WWE, it caused a mass meltdown. I should have bookmarked it, but basically I said Dave Meltzer stooge. So this is, I guess, part of Dave Meltzer dumb moment of the week, but it's not yet. I'm not playing the flute yet. So Dave basically stooged, though, that Wembley, like AEW pays to do Wembley. You know what I'm saying? Whereas the mayor of London is like, nah, we will bid to get WrestleMania here, meaning they're gonna pay a fucking premium to get Mania there. And so people, that just caused meltdowns. What? Well, you hate AEW? Who gives a fuck? Everyone's melting down. Shout out the IWC, continually taking L's. But at WrestleUps here, chairman of Saudi Arabia's General Entertainment Authority, Turki Al-Sheikh, who is, if you are a combat sports fan, if you watch Ariel Helwani's MMA Hour show, you're familiar with Turki Al-Sheikh. He's putting on these tremendous boxing matches. He's putting on these tremendous crossover MMA superstar mega fights. They're in the MMA business. They're going to get in the pro wrestling business. This is why I don't write off Vince McMahon entirely getting out of pro wrestling. But the thing is Turki Al-Sheikh wants to work with WWE because, of course, it's the biggest brand in the world. But Vince McMahon I could see him somehow doing some sort of weird pro wrestling in Saudi Arabia type shit. I don't see that outside of the realm of possibility before all is said and done. But I think maybe I don't know. I saw a video of Vince recently. It looked pretty fragile. So who knows? Maybe he hangs it up. But Turki Al-Sheikh, he's sitting in the front row with Dana White, Vince McMahon, fucking Eminem, Kanye West. They're all sitting together watching these boxing matches. He's throwing all the money around in the world, and they do Crown Jewel. That's who they do business with to bring those events there. And he said that he's specifically looking into bringing the Royal Rumble or WrestleMania as well to Saudi Arabia. And with the type of money they have and are willing to throw around, I see a WrestleMania happening in Saudi Arabia in the next 5 years, 10 years, less than 10 for sure with the way they move. What do you think about that? That would be insane. What do you think about that?
With enough money, they'll have a WrestleMania, in Saudi Arabia, probably within the next 3 to 4 years, if they haven't already booked up till then. But yeah, I can see they have to create an international superstar. Is Cody Rhodes that person? I don't know. That's a tough one.
Do you think that it matters?
They'll sell out regardless.
Yeah, and then also Turki Al-Sheikh, he will fly a babillion celebrities out there too to sit in the fucking crowd. I'm telling you, dude, this guy does not mess around. And yeah, man, I don't know. I just think this is wait, isn't Jake Paul and Mike Tyson? That's in Saudi Arabia as well. And it's going to be live on Netflix. Am I correct about that? Are you familiar?
I'm not really sure.
Okay, so they're doing big business, and he's all a part of it, and just shout him out, salute, and we might get and say what you will about Saudi Arabia, but man, there's women on billboards there. That's pro wrestling, specifically WWE, that's done that's blown that wide open. There's I don't know, you can get into the I don't know, the nuts and bolts of what each law is and all this shit. I don't know. Yeah, it's different. We've talked about cultural difference here on the show, and just shout them out as far as they're, I don't know, man. They're they're not going to not have women's matches on WrestleMania. You know what I mean? So that's still slowly breaking doors down, if you will, if you want to look at it that way. You know what I mean? And we've seen even Sami Zayn has come around. He was like, I'm never doing a Saudi show. He's come around and done it. Cena was never going to do it. He does it. People do it. So it's becoming less taboo and more, I don't know, man. I'm all down with wrestling growing and growing and growing. I don't like the idea of Mania being there though for whatever reason. But the more I think about it, it's like, yeah, this Turkey Al Sheikh, like it, because you see like these karate combat events they do there, and there's like all these influencers there from America. You see all these TikTokers like in the fucking front row. They're in Saudi Arabia. It's like they do make it still like a cultural event that's like relevant to like the world.
Are the crowds crazy? Are they frenzied when these guys come to their country?
They are pretty hype, yeah. And there's usually always like lots of Americans there. It's what I mean, you know? Like the Nelk boys are hanging out in Saudi Arabia watching fucking MMA fights and shit. So it's like, it's not, you know, they're chugging Happy Dads going crazy. So it's not just like, yeah, it's the crowds were shitty in Saudi Arabia at first, but now that they've been there for so many years, I think they're a little better, and Turkey Al Sheikh just shut them out, you know? Chat, let us know what you think about wait, Tyson Paul is at AT&T Stadium, way better.
Texas Stadium.
Thank you, Brad Becker. Yeah. Because I was like, is that in Saudi? I don't know, but they're doing big business. There's a promo right now. Samoa Joe's like training in the gym, doing his shoot. You know how he fucking trains, dude, hitting pads with boxing gloves and shit. This is awesome. That's what you want to see from Joe. But Shitty's not the world champ anymore. And his character sort of, he was wearing a suit being like, I'm a movie star guy, world champ. And then now he's just in the gym boxing. And so who knows? So, okay, who said this? So this is per Wrestle Votes. So this doesn't quantify as a Dave Meltzer dumb moment of the week, but this is a dumb fucking dirt sheet moment of the week. Wrestle Votes. There is trepidation within WWE creative over fear that when Jacob Fatu arrives on WWE TV, his presence could outshine Solo Sikoa at this stage. And I said, bull. Nope, dude.
Nope.
Ain't no way.
Who writes this shit?
I don't know, man. So it's just people making this shit up. There's no fear of that whatsoever. One's gonna be heel, one's gonna be face off rip. And if they do a line, and I've been talking shit this whole time, oh well. But all like as far as like Solo and Jacob aligning, but I don't think they're gonna do that. And why the fuck would WWE be worried about having more than one star that they can just put on two different shows? Like, what are you guys fucking stupid, man? Like, this doesn't make sense at all, and this is just people talking out of their asses.
Dummy, yeah.
What do you think? When Jacob comes in? Is he going to? So what I say is it's going to be Roman, Jimmy, Jay, and Jacob all as faces, and they're going to fight Solo, Tama Tonga, potentially Hikuleo, their younger brother, or if not, The Rock. I think The Rock, it's obvious because he was giving Haku, I said it on Toonie Talk Wrestling, he was giving Haku his flowers as well at the Hall of Fame. The Rock was. So I think that's the lineups, and Jacob's going to come in as a face because he does springboard moonsaults and top rope fucking he'll do that move that, like, what's that guy Bandito does, where he does like the fall away slam, but he moonsault, like he does shit like that. So I think Fatu's going to be like a flippy, fun Fatu guy. And it makes sense, you know, and then the Tongans are going to sort of align with Solo, and then they're going to eventually turn on Solo and The Rock, maybe even, who fucking, I don't know, but that's going way down the line,
you know
being
what?
a mark. But yeah, what do you think, though?
I'm surprised. I'm surprised that there isn't anymore. Hasn't been any influence from the ancestral portion of the bloodline. Like, we've seen them at Sika and Afa. They need to poke their faces out in this to give it more depth. I mean, to bring in Tongaloa, Jacob Fatu, and to bring in Jacob Fatu, that's cool and all.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was just saying, I agree with you, and they need to do like they were going to do it before do you remember when they canceled it like a couple years ago? It was like last year, whatever. It was the tribal ceremony or whatever.
Tribal
and
council.
Then they canceled it. The tribal council.
Yeah.
We're gonna get that shit. We're gonna get it. We have to, and it's gonna be Afa, Sika, Rikishi, everybody. I agree. I think The Rock's gonna do it when The Rock and Roman throw down. Why did they cancel it back then? I don't know. I'm sure there's a reason, but ultimately, though, I agree. But they did air this thing at a house show. Alpha and Sika did come out and give Roman that red lay, like way back. That was like a year ago or whatever as well.
But
so I didn't mean to
that was
interrupt
2
you there,
years
but
ago,
I
it
just like,
seemed like.
they did pop up, but they need to do it on TV. I agree with you wholeheartedly. And
Yeah,
Haku should
there
be
needs
there.
to be there needs to be some sort of vignette given about these guys. I mean, sure, a lot of people may know Tonga Loa, not a lot of people may know Jacob Fatu. With one quick vignette, including the parents, uncles, what have you, older relatives, yeah, you can make these guys overnight. Even Solo Sikoa, you could do that with him overnight.
So we have Jericho coming out with Big Bill, and they are the learning tree, and they're fighting two random jobbers. And I'm so happy this is on Dynamite and not on Collision or some shit that no one watches. My word. So yeah, I agree with I pick up what you're putting down there. So let's look at what else is in Phil Mark's bookmarks. Do you guys want to watch a video? I'm not asking, actually, I'm telling, because this is my show and we do what I want. Well, first, let's RIP to Ole Anderson. If you guys don't watch Dark Side of the Ring, they aired their last episode of this season, and I'm going to watch it as well. And it is the I believe, what do they call it? The Black Saturday episode. And here's what Ole Anderson had to say about, oh, sorry, here, I'm going to keep this card pulled up for you guys the whole time. Here we go. And we're going to, hear what Ole Anderson had to say about Linda and Vince. Oh, man, Ole, I don't know. A lot of people gave that guy shit for wearing an Ole Anderson t-shirt on NXT, but like Brooks Jensen or whatever. But man, what just a character, and just a bitter some bitch. You know what I mean? Yeah, I wanted to play that for you guys. Speaking of bitter some bitches, we'll get into some weird shit, I guess. So, per Brandon Thurston, all four parties in Grant v. WWE, McMahon, Laurinaitis, collectively, McMahon and Laurinaitis, who's now on Vince's team again. They collectively filed a proposed stipulation and order with various deadline dates. The parties have to submit filings. Filing notably mentions WWE also anticipates filing a motion to compel arbitration and stay this action pending arbitration, which removes any doubt that all three defendants will be moving to compel arbitration. It's proposed that the three defendants file their motion and memoranda in support by next Tuesday, May 14. Only WWE has yet to file the motion. John Laurinaitis has filed his motion but hasn't filed a memorandum in support. Unclear if he will. Vince McMahon has already filed both. You're a smart guy. You're smarter than me, Awful. What the fuck does that all mean? Do you make any sense of that? It's legal jargon, and I don't know. It seems as though Laurinaitis is on Team McMahon again. What do you make of all that? Awful. Is Awful with us? We might have lost Awful. That is entirely okay. That
I'm not sure if I'm still on or not.
No, you are now. You are again. We did lose you for a moment.
Good, because I have no idea what this
okay.
What's going on with this particular instance of the trial. I mean, all this for $2 million, like unbelievable.
Yeah, it's 2 or 3 milli. Only for, I mean, come on, man. She just wants to get paid. Jericho's cutting a promo. Big Bill. They beat these jobbers, gave him a little too much, but it is what it is. It was just a little comedy match. It's funny. Jericho wears Gitchies again. I think that's hilarious. So Julia. This is in an interview with Yahoo. Julia says she couldn't be satisfied wrestling in front of 3,000 people in Japan after being at WrestleMania. AEW. I was overwhelmed at WrestleMania. I am a completely different scale. It was epic. I was moved, and it was the same backstage. 80,000 people roared and cheered. It's great to wrestle in Japan in front of 3,000 people, but when I saw WrestleMania, I couldn't be satisfied. and I wanted to continue with that feeling. Yeah, your thoughts on that, bro? She got a taste. She got a daddy magic taste.
Yeah,
And now she wants a
got
little
a taste,
more,
and
bro.
now she
What do you
wants some
think?
big time money. Yeah, exactly. She saw her pool getting a little bit bigger. She saw the fourth room in the house getting a little bit bigger. That's what happens when you go to the WWE.
To the big time when you're a top guy.
Yeah.
When you're a top guy. So some vets, man, they had some things to say about some AEW talent. You know what I mean? So here's Kevin Nash and what he had to say about Mercedes Moné. So shout out Kevin Nash and the Click This podcast. Oddly enough, looking at my stats, people who watch Click This don't really watch a lot of PWT and vice versa. You know what I mean? It's weird. Like mostly people who watch Dutch Mantel and Jim Cornette and shit like that, and Pro Wrestle Bits watch my stuff. But not so much Click This, but shout them out. I don't listen to it too much, but here's what Kevin Nash had to say about Mercedes Moné.
Sasha Banks, whatever her name is now.
So instantly.
Sasha Banks, whatever her name is now. Her gear looks like I made it. There's not a semblance of when she comes out that she's the same character. Is worth it. It's like seeing an 88. I'm going to go back. It's like seeing a 1977 Cutlass two-door sedan that had the T-tops, and seeing it now, and you're like, didn't age well. That's not Sasha Banks. Look at how her fucking outfit's bush. Sasha Banks.
So Kevin Nash just fucking absolutely obliterated her. Now, listen, we put over Mercedes, but goddamn, man, he went at her hard, and I don't know what to tell
Who's
you, man.
Who's this we, Phil?
Yeah, exactly.
You put over Sasha Banks.
I
put over
do.
Mercedes Moné.
And but he's right though. It's like she's trying to be a character that's not even her character. Like she lost the plot somewhere of like thinking she's gonna do her gimmick differently. I think I totally. But him going like her gear looks bush. She hasn't even worn gear yet. That's just like her outfits for TV. He just buried it. So
there was that
hard,
one
man.
outfit that Sasha Banks wore, maybe like I think it might have been third Dynamite or whatever. It was like an all red outfit. It looked exactly like a swimsuit. I was just like, oh, she showed up here in a swimsuit, and he's kind of correct. Like there's nobody really checking her on her fashion sense. Remember, she was going through that little phase where she was like wearing pearls, like it came out of her aunt's closet, and just wearing that dusty pink outfit. Like what's going on with her?
So speaking of vets burying I guess wrestling vets, if that's the way to put it. So Eric Bischoff continues. So he responded to all the Dax Harwood stuff on his own podcast, and I'd clip it all, but then I'd have to tell you about Henson Razors, and I'd have to sell you some insurance. Make sure you head to savewithphil.com.
Oh, God.
And savewithpwt.com and get you some Blue Chew. I know Mrs. B loves it. I know my wife loves it. And Henson Razors, and we're also sponsored by Manscaped and Blue Chew and Henson Razors. They don't even pay me. They're like, yes, Phil, keep talking about
Yes.
this. Yes. So Eric Bischoff says Dax Harwood failed in WWE and hasn't gotten over it. Eric Bischoff says, Dax, you've had your opportunity in WWE. You failed. You didn't get over it. Well, it is what it is. I know it hurts. It doesn't sound nice. It's so cruel, but it's also true. And now he's in AEW. He feels like a bigger fish in a much, much smaller pond where really hardly anybody's over. And I'm not suggesting it's all his fault, but it is what it is. And then Conrad, of course, was like, oh, now come on, Eric. Now, come on, Eric. So, what are your thoughts on Eric Bischoff's thoughts on Dax there after their little Twitter spat?
This is Eric Bischoff's new grift, by the way. Like he
Is it
went
a
full.
grift?
He
I
went
don't think it's
full.
a grift.
I mean, it's not so much a grift as it is like a realization that he knows, like he's been playing the middle of the road podcaster for quite a while, and now because he got, Tony got his attention, now he's going to go full force against him and all that. But this is the kind of stuff that, listen, it's the kind of thing that Eric Bischoff, Jim Cornette, a lot of these guys are doing. Like, we want AEW to succeed. I don't think you do. I think you're trying to you're trying to keep that audience that is just like, we like AEW as well. And we want to hear you say something nice about it. There's not really too much nice to say about AEW for these guys to be so middle of the road. Eric Bischoff used to be like, oh, they got a chance. Now he's just like, oh, they're going to fail, because he knows where the butter is, the bread is buttered.
Where the butter's being churned. Yeah.
Take it from me, my friend. I've seen with my very own eyes the level of people who are now starting to become, realistic towards AEW. And that's not to say that it's because of me at all, but I can't deny the fact that, it's cool to look at AEW in this ultra critical way, because they're already 5 years in the game and they haven't done anything. So what are you guys expecting for anything to change? It's not. This whole experiment is over. But I've noticed a lot of podcasters taking that new route. Like, you know what? It isn't all that good. Yeah, dopey. It hasn't been good for 5 years.
Yeah, and that's why PWT is growing, I truly believe, rapidly, because I've shot it straight from day motherfucking one. I do reviews of these shows, and I tell you what's good. I've broken it down spot-wise, character-wise, business-wise, however you want to break it down, man. I've been consistent, and I truly do not want I want there to be another WCW against WWE. I want it so bad. I want it, and AEW was supposed to be that. And I stand till the death of me. And I've been consistent in that. Am I critical of AEW? Yeah, I have been since day one, man. Have been since day one. Am I critical of WWE? Sure, but they've just been rocking and rolling. And that's the other thing that people got to understand. When WWE is doing record business and they're putting on really great stories and TV shows, they're allowed to have lulls where it's forgivable, because they've proved that, like, no, wait till they ramp it up again. If they try to ramp it up and all of a sudden the Bloodline storyline sucks and like fucking Solo's popping ratings now, if that goes away and they're just doing dumb shit and people aren't tuning in for it, I'll call it the fuck out. But that's not the case. They completely have turned everything around, and AEW just seems to have turned the complete other direction. And you guys have heard
they had no other tricks beyond this. They had no other tricks beyond the fact that, they could compete with WWE. When WWE caught fire again, now we're in trouble. What else do we have? We've exhausted all 52 of our playing cards, special announcements, surprise debuts, big events,
lights
dream
go out
matches.
3 times. Lights go out 3 times in one episode of the show.
All these things that you've done.
Yeah. And like this sort of thing. So when they sold us the bill of good, it should be sports-based wrestling. So Brad Becker says it right here. AEW never explains their rules. Exactly, guys. And this is my whole thing. You tell me sports-based wrestling. So what I thought AEW was going to be, and this is what they could start to do if they want to turn it around. Bro, you explain it as a shoot, or you not a shoot, but you explain it in a fucking way where you present it as a sport. You have clear and concise divisions. They never have their divisions are not clear and concise. Tony consistently fucks up the rankings. There doesn't even need to be rankings, but if you're going to do them, at least use them. But then he fucks around and goes, oh no, these rankings are just for the heavyweight title, and now they're not. So it's like, that's dumb. And then CMLL guys come in, and then they get announced in kilos, and then the guy who came out before them is from AEW, and they get announced in pounds. Like, no, just it's your league. Announce everyone in fucking pounds, and then, oh, this match is under Ring of Honor pure rules, and Eddie Kingston's the New Japan champ fighting the pure on AEW. No, it's you're undermining your own shit. It's your league. Explain your rules. And when people fight on AEW, in AEW, what makes it compelling is that, holy shit, they are going to fight under AEW rules. You can explain that in the commentary. In Mexico and CMLL, or in New Japan Pro Wrestling, they're used to the 20-second count out outside of the ring. In AEW, there's only 10 seconds. And in a championship match, it's extended to 15. Or like, except for world title matches, it's 20 seconds on the outside. This could hinder his performance. He better not get counted out. You can explain these things. Tony Khan's supposed to be a stats guy, a statistician and all this shit. It's great. No, motherfucker. Where is that? I want to hear that shit on commentary. I want to hear the commentators going, you know what? John Moxley is a great competitor when he no, okay, don't roast me, chat, for saying that, but John Moxley's a great competitor. When he hits the paradigm shift, he actually finishes 76% of his opponents. So he's going to look for that move early. But what's interesting is when John Moxley gets the paradigm shift reversed, he actually loses 61% of his matches. So Miro's going to look to reverse the paradigm shift. But John Moxley's finished 93% of his opponents with his rear naked choke. So you're going to avoid that at all costs. Like things like that. Explain, bro, but that's what I'm saying. Make it sports based. Like if that's what you're going to do, or make it fucking lights go out, fucking, Matt Hardy teleporting. Like, which is it? You got have the weigh-ins, build it that way, do it that way, make it sports based. Have them explain why wrestlers don't punch with closed fists and why it's illegal.
What's so funny? It's like everybody's got a certain idea of how AEW should go in like the next 2 or 3 years. And I'm just here to say unequivocally and very clearly, it's all too fucking late. Okay?
I know.
It's all too late. And I hate to be the wet rag of all this, but
no, you're not.
You could change the announce team. You can tell them, give them all the stats in the world. If Sally Soccer Mom and Joe Sixpack do not give a fuck about AEW now, you've got to make them give a fuck about AEW in the next 6 to 8 months, or else the doors will close on you. You will not get a television deal. Sadly, it's all too fucking late.
Yeah, I think they've truly Tony Khan has backed themselves into just being the new TNA, like the modern TNA. They took TNA slot as that's the number 2. Maybe they'll turn it around one day. We need, if there ever was another billionaire who came in, it'll never happen again, but in our lifetimes. But if there ever was, who got into pro wrestling, man, that's how you present it. I'm going off on a rambling. I've said it a lot of times, but if you explain what makes pro wrestling different than MMA, what makes it different than boxing, and you present it in this sports fashion where it's not just all about the matches, you tell stories and there's a way to do that in sports. They do it in sports all the time. The pre-shows do it all the time. They talk about the defense and what this guy's been lacking and what these guys need to do.
But Phil, this is all content stuff that you're talking about, which is in product. How the hell do you get that promoted to the rest of America? That's the whole thing. Their local promotion is awful.
I know.
They do not send down their big stars to the local TV networks down there.
No house shows. They're a TV show. That's the thing. They should do it in a studio because they're just a TV show. They don't do house shows. This isn't even the pro wrestling business. They don't have a training centers anywhere. They're not running indies of AEWs and calling it their house show loop. This is what I thought Tony Khan was going to do. I thought he would start running indies like these little indie shows as the house show loop, and then they could air what happened on these indies on the AEW shows, and then be or if they wanted to, not air the matches, but if an angle happened or what they've been building to. But I thought their house show loops would just be the indie shows that they all used to do on this smaller scale. And I was like, that's fucking genius, because there's more. Even if they fill up the roster too, there's so many indie wrestlers doing all these indie dates. So if they use that as their house show loops, no, they didn't do any of that. They ended up making these guys not do indies. which like
Right.
realistically they shouldn't be, but you need some sort of house show loop. You need some sort of training facilities to where you're cultivating
when they
talent.
tried when they tried the house show loops, I think they got cold feet because they saw that there were many people with their cell phones out, recording all these botches from the women's division and some from FTR. And they I'm not saying that that's the main reason, but that's one of the reasons why I think they were no longer doing the house show loop. They did it for maybe like 6 to 8 months back in maybe 2021 or 2022. Maybe the chat knows better than I do, but yeah, they had it going on for a few months, and then they just gave up on the idea.
Well, I don't know if it's all just botches. I know, but it's also like like you said, they don't have good marketing, and it's
Terrible
that Tony
marketing.
thinks that like he thinks that all of these matches need to be seen. All of these matches need to be seen. He can't just do it on a house show. I truly believe that. I think he thinks like all of these matches need to be on TV if they happen. It needs to be like, because if it's a house show, the world doesn't see it, and he's not. I don't know, man. People say he does it for the fans and all that. I don't believe that at all. It's all just it's all just his fantasy playing out and for Meltzer and shit. And pats on the back rather, which is fine. But it's just forever TNA that way. And they would do so much better, dude, if they were in just running. I've been watching old ECW, and I tweeted this out. I've been watching old ECW, and man, it's like these shows would be so good if people just sold, and if they did, like, I don't know, the backstage promo work, like Rhino back then, even in like 2000, like he was doing awesome shit, honestly, in his backstage promo work. But the smaller buildings, the vibe, the energy, it's like this is what AEW should have been. But instead, Tony wants to be able to say he competes with WWE. He's more interested in that than contributing and TV. That's why. Oh, why do we compare the ratings? Because motherfucker, he's only a TV show. This is not the pro wrestling business. It's a TV show, do a pay-per-view. TV show, do a pay-per-view. There's no house show. House shows how you penetrate these markets, how you familiarize audiences in Middle America or wherever the fuck, wherever the fuck Europe, where it costs too much to produce TV out of, and it doesn't make sense for the time slot and all that shit. That's where you cultivate these audiences and make people fans and all of these things, and they're not goddamn doing that in any capacity whatsoever. And that's where it's frustrating. It's not that, oh, WWE does it and you don't do it. It's not about that. It's just about you don't do it whatsoever, and then you compare yourselves, and fucking people wonder why people bring up the TV, because that's all that matters with AEW. That's all that matters, because it's a fucking TV show. They're not doing house shows. They don't have a PC. Not that it even needs a PC. They don't have dojos set up in different states. Like, they're just looking at the indies and signing whoever.
They don't
WWE
have a headquarters. They should be.
Exactly.
They should be actually like wrestlers in AEW. Their job should be Monday through fucking Thursday, from Monday to Wednesday. I think I've said this. Monday, Tuesday. Yeah. You should be at some warehouse somewhere.
Yes,
some headquarters in Jacksonville every day, checking in, because this is where you're going to make most of your money. Actually, motherfucker, you're going to be working to get better. So these are training
3
sessions.
hours a day, 5 days a week, minimum.
5 hours a day. Exactly.
5 hours a day, sure, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then you
just
go
like
through the
give them
Dynamite.
a minimum set of hours they have to hit per day, 4 or 5 days a week. The facilities are open. They can pick which 4 days, like make it easy for them. They're already not working as it is. Like, you know what I mean? So this is an idea, Tony. Like, listen, I'm saying this in great faith. Like, why would I even spend my time, and why would Awful even waste his time if he didn't care a little bit, or someone could learn from this? And
I don't care.
I know you don't care, but I'm just saying, like, God damn it, this is what should be happening,
Yeah,
and
I mean, it should have been happening from the jump. I mean, I don't know why this should be this should be implemented by the end of this weekend. It's easily can be done.
That's
doesn't
the thing.
the guy has a stadium, doesn't he? You know what I mean? I'm sure there's some. Yeah, really. If you're listening, Tony, keep me blocked. And also take heed to this free advice. It actually doesn't cost you one more penny to construct a ring in the corner of one of the Jacksonville Stadium or whatever, and have these guys show up in Florida, hook them up in the hotel room. From Monday to Thursday, you'll be working. Wednesday's live night. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, whatever you have time off for your families. But yeah, you're going to be working. This is the new grind of AEW. See you in Jacksonville. That's how I would do it.
We embrace the grind here on PWT, folks. We have a $10 super chat from Michael Duff. So much, Michael Duff, for the $10 super chat. Round of applause. So to what we were saying a moment ago, AEW's lack of advertisement and desire to bring in a new audience is telling of their attitude. AEW only wants to appease its base. It doesn't care about new people. AEW doesn't want you. Oh, man. So
that last sentence, though, incredible.
Yeah, dude. So let's break this down. This is a great comment. Thank you so much for the super chat here. Let's break this down. AEW's lack of advertisement and desire to bring in a new audience is telling of their attitude. AEW only wants to appease its base. That's all we've been saying. That's all I've been saying for a year on this pod, on this live shows. It doesn't care about new people. Exactly. AEW doesn't want you. And the weirdness of the overly bottish NPC tribalistic fan base on that side, which is much more prevalent than the AEW fans. Like AEW fans will be the first ones. WWE fans. WWE fans will be the first ones to criticize WWE shit. I notice at least the good accounts that I follow that enjoy WWE, they can also be critical of it, and AEW not so much. But that's what I always say: making excuses, coping, seething, that shit is not going to help. Being critical, it's like Gordon Ramsay, bro. If he just walks into the restaurants that he's helping on fucking Kitchen Nightmares, oh no, you're doing a great job. Keep doing what you're doing. It's perfect. I'm just an asshole. Like if he went there and didn't yell and be like, no, you bloody doorknob, it's raw. Like if he didn't do that,
right,
the shit wouldn't get better. It wouldn't. If John Taft walk into bars and go, no, you dumb fuck, that'll get him sick. If they didn't do that, no one would fix their shit. So that's why
Tony Khan obviously never played sports. He was never coached in any sort of high level sports endeavor, from golf to tennis to cricket to soccer. Name the sport. He had to wrestling. I mean, you would easily develop a thick skin and get over some of the issues that are plaguing the AEW right now. But because the top guy, the guy on television with the neck brace, because he has no idea how to be coached, how to be reined in, how to be taught effectively, this is what you're going to get. And fans get pushed away by the people online, like in the IWC as well, who just cope constantly or try and they're just so focused on WWE and all this shit, and it really, really drives people away. Now, you're giving the AEW fans. I just have to comment. You're giving the AEW fans online a lot of credit. No one gives a fuck about the AEW fan attacking pro WWE fans at all or anything like that. That is an insular, like that's almost taking place in a vacuum when it comes to the real world. AEW's biggest problem has nothing to do with its fans. AEW's biggest problem has everything to do with its marketing, promotion, and ownership.
Right. Here's the thing, though. Everybody brings up the core fan base, and I do believe, though I might disagree with you or push back on what you're saying a little bit, is that their fans a lot of times, so people trust that I'm going to shoot it straight, okay? And if I go, dude, someone should really check this out, I think, or like there might be people in the chat right now who actually are like, fuck, I'll put Dynamite on because Phil's watch. I want to watch what Phil's saying. As that's me. Like, even though people say you're negative or whatever, if you really listen to the content and enjoy it, you know that like I just try and shoot it straight down the line, and sometimes I'll work a little bit to try and get things over. But you guys know where I'm coming from, and then I think that helps their audience go, fuck, I'll throw it on and give it a chance, right? Whereas you go on the IWC and there's guys with like 11K, 20K followers who are just coping, seething, making excuses, being so utterly like lowering WWE to raise AEW, and things like that. And you don't think that turns maybe like a regular, like you remember like Kat Dennings tweeted, "Oh, I love SummerSlam." Then all these people were like, look at AEW. And then she just doesn't tweet about wrestling anymore because it probably turned her off entirely. So I do believe, Michael Dodd, thank you so much for the $10 super chat, man. You're the shit. I do believe
it
that
turned her off to tweeting about WWE.
I know, but like
that's
a
all.
fun thing that people want to do. You don't think she wants to watch SummerSlam, tweet about it and shit? You know what I mean, dude? So that's what I mean. Like,
I'm sure she does.
And like, you don't think like her, if she was genuinely into AEW, if she's like tweeting about it wouldn't get people into it. That's all I'm saying is that like, even me in a genuine way, I think I help in a better way than some of their toxic fans. Like real one, he's not convincing people to go watch AEW, but I am, because I'm going to watch this shit. Edge just speared a dude through a table. This match has actually been pretty goddamn good, and I do like Brody King and Edge. We're not giving it its flowers because we're ranting and raving, but it should get its flowers. But exactly, guys, like, go watch this shit. I think I encourage more people to genuinely check out the product. And I do think that audience in the IWC, even though Twitter doesn't matter, it's not real, like Max Caster says, I do think some of them turn people off of even wanting to check it out or give it a chance because they're so goddamn shitty. But you may disagree with that, but I think it does have an effect. Their fan base does have an effect, you know?
I think it just makes people who watch wrestling change their mind about watching AEW as religiously as they would with anything else, possibly with the, like they're not going to watch it with the same sort of excitement as they would watch Raw or SmackDown or anything like that. But that's what I'm saying. Like those are already in-house wrestling fans who are already online. AEW can't attract people in Middle America, or even much of America. So there we have it. You're not going to be able to penetrate those people. Your IWC fans are not going to affect those people.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, you're right about that too. So Kyle O'Reilly's running out to save Edge because they're both Canadian. Like, Tony Khan's the worst booker ever, dude. Cody Rhodes gets pops in France, like, like unreal shit. So to add on to what we're saying here, for $2 super chat, HQ is the Jag Stadium. Move it to St. Louis. I know, but that doesn't even count. That's the Jags' headquarters. That ain't AEW fucking headquarters, bro. You know what I mean? But thank you so much for the and why would it move to St. Louis? Tell us that in the chat too. Alt Jake for $2. Tony Khan has never been told no. No, he's just been told that this is great. This is so great. Haha. Thank you so much for the $2 super chat. And yeah, dude, he's never been thoroughly criticized.
He's being told no right now. He's being told right by the American audience, like, no, we're not going to watch this shit.
So they end the show. So the main event happened there. Edge speared dude through a table. It was a bloody mess. Speared him and then speared him to finish him. Brody King. And Mercedes is now ending the show in what is probably a pre-tape. I doubt she's actually in the building or she would have came out.
How's the lighting?
She's so fake. I'm so sorry.
And I have to say that I am so excited because I was so close to making my return to the sport that I love so very, very much. You see, here in AEW is where the best wrestle.
Man, I don't know. I'm not into this.
And that's spotlight. And I thrive under pressure. And I'm only getting started. You see, tomorrow I'll be sitting courtside at the Celtics playoff. And then on Saturday, I'll be throwing out that first pitch for the Boston Red Sox.
So she's talking about how she's going to be courtside at the Celtics, and she's going to throw out the first pitch at the Boston Red Sox game, and then she's going to go to Double or Nothing and fight Willow. And it's like, how is this? It's so unrelatable. She should be a heel. Like, Tony's such a fucking idiot. Gave her stupid amounts of money. I don't think it's I don't think it's the 10 mil like people say. I don't think it's that much, but it's a lot. A lot.
What does she look like, Phil? Is she hot looking? I mean,
well, she's always like she's like a she's a pretty girl, dude.
I'm talking about is she looking Bush League?
Pretty Bush League.
See? Yeah, I love how we have to draw this stuff out of you, Phil.
So sorry,
trying to be in the
bro.
middle of the road all the time, trying to be Mr. Moderate, Mr. Diplomacy out here. Does she look Bush or not? I guess she does. Yeah. No, she looks Bush.
So she's gonna wipe Willow's stupid. So it's they don't make any goddamn sense. We need heroes and villains. We need heroes and villains. Money changes everything. That's what she said. So she should be a heel on Team.
Money changes the channel on the TV.
So she should be a heel on Team Young Bucks. Why is this show still going? Is this the overrun where it's fucking Edge is backstage? He's all beat up.
I'm not really sure.
This is crazy. Yeah, Phil trying to be nice and awful, being the best bad influence. Yeah, dude. That's why that's why it's great. That's why I enjoy. You're one of my top guests on the top pod for sure. So, Edge and Kyle O'Reilly. Let's team
was that
up
the show?
Canadian, eh?
Tell us, Phil, how great was Dynamite tonight?
Well, I don't know. It's not even over yet. There's like the overrun.
Oh,
the
fuck.
overrun. In Vancouver, Kyle O'Reilly's going to fight Edge in the Cope Open. So that's how they ended this show. Or is it done? No, someone's coming out. The Bucks are coming out in the overrun. So Toni must have bought time. Yeah,
they're having Rampage tonight as well, aren't they?
The Bucks are saying this show doesn't end until we say it ends.
So Rampage isn't on after this?
No, but they asked for an overrun.
Okay.
This is so cringe.
Enjoy.
They're hoping to get those crossover fans. Or just tuning in fans.
Modern Family?
Yeah.
No, it's Modern Family.
Okay. Okada is... They're chanting CM Punk. Jesus. They're whatting Okada.
That's right.
Jesus.
Speaking of unwell people, Toni Khan, I know you're watching at home in Jacksonville. I just wanted to say that you're the best boss I've ever worked for, and I hope you're feeling better too. I just wish that you would have gotten out of your own way and realized
they wish Tony Khan would have gotten out of his own way. And they want to make AEW a better place.
And we had no choice but to give Tony Khan a Tony Khan driver.
We had to give Tony Khan a Tony Khan driver. Guys, get those likes up. We're at 82. Get us to 100, please. There's 150 of us in there. Get to 100. Get to 100.
Are the Young Bucks mean mugging right now?
Yeah, the Young Bucks are yelling. An EVP trigger to an EVP. They're marks for themselves, dude, but this is the overrun. So they're just trying to steal those Avengers fans, man.
FTR, guess what? Anarchy in the arena, that's what you want at Double or Nothing. The anarchy in the arena, you're gonna get. Good luck finding two other people with big enough balls to face.
So they're saying FTR. Good luck finding anybody who's gonna fight us. Like, good luck finding two other people who are gonna fight us in Anarchy in the arena. FTR's coming out now. So let's see what comes of this. FTR is cutting a promo.
It wasn't going to be easy finding a couple of guys to stay in with us.
Are they wearing t-shirts?
Kids or Eric Bischoff and old podcasters.
Those big balls you're talking about? I think I found a couple of guys who got big enough balls for the job.
Okay, they found 2 guys. It's Eddie Kingston. Like, this is, oh my God.
No.
This is so
This is what you wanted. This is the shit that changes the industry right here.
And then it'll be Jay
industry
Briscoe.
shaking.
It'll be Briscoe. This is what they did with the overrun. Shout out Briscoe.
Are they in the same building?
Oh, it's Danielson.
Oh God.
So it's just Danielson, Kingston, and FTR. Oh, it's a dream matchup. It's a dream. It's such a dream. A dream come true. Where else could Danielson, Kingston, and FTR team up? Who asked for that? Whoever wanted to see that?
Tony Khan.
Jack Perry and them. Danielson, you work on the disciplinary committee. Why would it be you? This doesn't even make sense, like kayfabe, real life. This doesn't make sense in any way. So bad, dude. Like, Danielson, I love you, dude. You're on the committee. Oh, I'm on the committee, and I'm going to take this back over for Tony Khan.
So that was the show right there. The reveal
they're all
of
brawling now. Now they're all brawling. So you got Dax fighting Jack Perry. Why didn't they just do this with Punk and them back in the day? Oh, Danielson, he's going to stand up for AEW. Danielson's an AEW for lifer until they induct him in the Hall of Fame one year. So that was the show right there. It goes off air with a big pull-apart brawl. I mean, that's a cool way to go off air, but...
What's coming on TBS right now? What's coming on right after?
No clue. Probably Avengers, probably fucking another Big Bang rerun. Like, what's supposed to be on right now? A movie.
I think it's supposed to be Modern Family.
Yeah,
it doesn't
Modern
matter.
Family. It doesn't even matter. Yeah, I have Triller over here. So, but yeah, dude, that's I don't know. So that's how AEW ended. I mean, the visual going off air was cool. It's like, all right, let's see what happens. But just Eddie Kingston and then Danielson. Like, Danielson, you'd be on the Bucks' team. Like, what the fuck? And like, why don't they just, if they can hire and fire people, why wouldn't they just fire your ass for like, I don't know, guys. Well, chat, how do you feel about that Dynamite? It was when Kingston came out, I just went, oh God. And then it was everyone.
Thank you, Chad. I knew it was Modern Family.
And everybody thought it'd be Briscoe, Mark Briscoe, but then there you go, dude. It's because they did that before where it's like, oh, Kingston and Briscoe will just team up with whoever, but then no, they just go Danielson. Well, why? Like, wouldn't the idea be Danielson? Like, there's a story right there. He turns his back on the BCC and aligns with the Bucks, and then he just be's like a schmarmy. Then he leans into the disciplinary thing a little bit, and then wins the.
When's their next pay-per-view, Phil?
May 26th, Sunday. It is Double or Nothing.
Well, that's in a few weeks, right?
Yeah, dude. So if I don't go live,
they couldn't stretch this bullshit out for another 3 or 4 weeks. You couldn't, like, again, you couldn't have vignettes of Tony Khan wheeling and dealing with Daniel Bryanson and Eddie Kingston to see if they can get some sort of revenge. Like, everything is just being shoehorned. It's just like, oh, we're available. Who did I? Brian Danielson, whatever the fuck his name is.
No, bro. What you said is better. Daniel Bryanson. Oh, yes. I love it.
Hey, listen, a little bit of the magic herb here, but even still, you've got to make sure like you can put these vignettes in order and make this draw out so it can be a cohesive fucking storyline. But you're just throwing guys out there like, oh, Eddie Kingston's available, Daniel Bryan's available, all these guys are available, but they had nothing to do with the entire storyline all the way up until right now. Makes no sense.
It's so dumb. And then they'll try and explain it in retrospect, and then the fans will cope and go, well, if you pay attention, you know that. So, I mean, goddamn, man. Overall, in Meltzer's that was a pretty bad Dynamite.
That was a pretty cool Dynamite, if you ask me, because I didn't see it at all. So all I saw was like the first match, Orange Cassidy and Trent Beretta, and as soon as they started brawling in the stands, and the referee was getting completely flatlined out there, I was like, oh, this is going to be that kind of show. And of course, I come on PWT, and Phil is hyping up the show, saying that there are awesome moments, and there are things that need.
What did I say was awesome? I said,
no,
the HLA was pretty good. Yeah, I really enjoyed the HLA.
I was actually, I was just gonna talk shit until you stopped me, but yeah, I mean, come on now. Listen, the show was awful. The rating tomorrow is going to be just as bad. I'm predicting anything under 700,000.
Yeah, me too. I think that'll be one of the worst rated. So this guy in the chat here, Joe's Madness, says, I started watching the show, and as soon as Orange Cassidy came on, I turned it off, but kept listening to you guys. Exactly. But if we can encourage some people to maybe stick it through to see the HLA, we're bringing hot lesbian action to Saudi Arabia. Yeah. Good shit, pal. So you going to hang out with me for a little bit longer, or what, Awful?
I'm actually going to hit the bricks on this one because I'm sure the entire crowd is exhausted. Your entire audience is exhausted from hearing us pontificate about Max Caster and the shitty Dynamite.
Well, why don't you let the good folks, the good PWT listeners, know where they can find you and what you have going on? Why don't you let them know?
Yeah, I'm working a lot, so you don't see too many tweets from me as much, but you can check me out on twitter.com/awful wrestling, AEW FUL wrestling. Be there tomorrow when we reveal the new shitty rating for AEW.
So for Double or Nothing, if I don't switch my live show day from Saturday to Sunday and watch that along live, you should do like another one of those Twitter spaces or something, and we should hang out, or maybe I'll host one or something, guys. So
definitely.
We should definitely do something like that, because that was kind of cool too because I was like editing videos and shit while I was just chatting, and that was fucking really cool too. But round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for Awful Wrestling. Thanks so much for being here.
Peace to you, Phil, and peace to the panel.
Peace to
you guys have a good night.
Absolutely, man. Good seeing you. So, man, Awful's the shit. And I love disagreeing, barbing back and forth with him. So, guys, we're talking about old heads, and I'm sure you've seen in the thumbnail, Ric Flair, he had an incident. So basically he comes out in the news, and here's him during his last match with his hilarious purple shirt. I always thought that was funny. And, Ric Flair says, I had a heart attack during my last match. So basically he goes on he did an interview where he said that, he like in the match, he passed out, he fell asleep. And then the doctor asked him, like, was there any time you exerted yourself and fell asleep and just like simply passed out? Like maybe weren't even in pain. And Ric Flair said, yeah, dude, during this match. So it turns out he had a heart attack during this match, which I think is crazy. And then he makes news again immediately following that, because like the same week he just tweets out, I spent $1,500 at Paisano's at SFP. I think it's like Stone Fire Pizza. They cook it in like a stone oven or whatever, to be disrespected more than I ever have in my entire life. After taking 20 pictures with customers and staff, I was asked to leave because of an issue I had with the kitchen manager taking too long in the bathroom. I would highly recommend that you never go there again, blah, 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 blah. So then this guy tweets out, Freddie Schnertz, shout out this pizza place, Paisano's SFP, and Freddie Schnertz. And he says, I'm the manager of a Paisano's SFP, sister location off of Archer. Mr. Flair was being a drunk and disorderly. He wooed directly into a blind grandmother's face. So Flair goes up to a grandma, woo, in an old lady's face. That is living the gimmick like to a T, bro. That is insane, dude. After being confronted by, he picked up furniture and swung it menacingly. We love a Rick, but he was boogered. but good. I don't know if you're Italian or not, but there you go. You're a pizza pie man. So basically, he's like, dude, I've been disrespected more than anything ever in my life. Blah 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 blah. And the manager of the sisters location was like, no, dude, you were being a piece of shit. You were drunk. You're wooing in people's faces. You're being ridiculous. And that's where Meltzer said, what, shout him out. And then the video comes out of what went down with Flair. And he's lucky he didn't like get beat up actually. And so let's watch this together. It is sad. I'm not going to be like, oh, I want to make fun of Ric Flair. He's like my goat. You know, he's one of my goats, dude. He is to me like the guy. He's transcended into pop culture. You know, you guys know why. And here's Ric Flair, drunk and old, and just I don't know. Just listen to this. It goes so many places. We're obviously going to pause and react, but this is just, it's quite sad, but I don't know, man. It's also pretty funny when the one guy's like, well, you'll see this one guy's like, well, I'll go outside with you and throw fisticuffs. Like, it's so funny. It's like the chillest altercation ever, kind of, with a drunk dude, because he's so old. It's like he would just fall over, you know, like you're gonna beat up Ric Flair, you know, like you would just feel bad. So anyways,
Well, I didn't do anything wrong. Except spend money and put this place over.
he goes, I haven't done anything wrong except spend money and put this place over. The pizza lady's like, what does that even mean?
Did wrong. Except spend money and put this place over and bring my family and friends here. That is bad for you. Why would it be bad for me? Well, watch social media tomorrow.
Watch social media tomorrow. Threat.
Well, you better. What's your name, job?
What's your name, job?
What? Nicholas Dickhead. You don't have to call me like that. Don't ever talk. You don't have to call me like that. You don't have to do this to me because you really made my family. I'm not from you. I didn't do one thing wrong. I walked into the bathroom.
So apparently, like, walked into a bathroom and got in an altercation with like a manager, like the kitchen manager was like, get out of the bathroom or something. I don't know, but Flair, man, this is just sad. And then you see these two guys over here, if you can see my cursor and there, or my mouse there, and they are reacting. And this guy here in the shirt is like, he's like, I'll go outside with you, or whatever he says. We'll get to it, guys. We're at 91 likes. Can 9 of you please just go hit that like button? There's 130 in here. 9 of you, please just go hit that like button, please, and thank you.
Oh, you're a kid high class. Really? What world do you live in? What world do you live in? How did I accost him?
How did I accost him? Is what he's trying to say. Did I touch him?
I never say a cuss word. You know, is that his word against yours? I didn't say one cuss word.
Damn, dude, he's all blinged up too. Ric Flair drip go boo on a bitch.
No, ma'am, I'm gonna give you $1,000 tip just to say to him, kiss my ass.
So he's gonna tip this lady $1,000 just to tell him, kiss my ass. Yeah, Vince, I'm meeting. And Vince is there. Yeah, you're gonna join the Kiss My Ass Club, and I'll give you $1,000 to do it.
If you walk outside here, you don't have to be disrespectful. I know you are. You're disrespecting me. How am I disrespecting? Telling me to leave. I'm not telling you to leave. I'm just telling you that you're cut off. Oh, I'm cut off.
You're cut off.
Really? Ma'am, please give yourself $1,000 tip.
So he's tipping a jeeber, man. Crazy.
$1,000 tip.
Good for Rick. So he's like, everyone's cool. This guy's a dipshit. And then this guy's over here like, man, just know him.
I'll say it again. You're a dipshit. Oh, I believe me. Trust me. I won't come back yet. Come outside here and talk to me like a man.
He goes, come outside here and talk to me like a man. Watch this guy on the left.
You for sure. You're
Calls him a pussy.
the pussy boy.
He called him a pussy boy. He called him a pussy boy. Woo, he's fucking one guan. The blood clot tyrant. You know what I mean, dude? Things real Irie pussy boy. You know, like what the fuck? Flair just turns Jamaican. And this guy goes, hey, you want to go talk with me in the parking lot? So this guy pipes in, and then Flair, this is so funny, like the way he's like, hey, you want to go with me to the parking lot? Like, shit, man, this is hilarious. I don't work here. I don't give a shit.
What's that? What did you say to me?
Now Flair's like, what did you just say to me? And then he backed down right away, though, because that guy wouldn't. Like, that's the sad part. Flair could have got, like, mollywopped by a dude there by accident, and a good old-fashioned round of fisticuffs. You know, these guys. I'll step outside with you, good gent. We'll take 10 paces forward and duel. You know, that was just funny to me. Yeah, so that's quite sad, though, actually. And I'm not going to sit here and, like, shit on Ric Flair. He's the GOAT, but damn, man, that's just not a good week of news. And then people were like, AEW is going to have woo energy and all this, and trying to use that as a way to, like, dunk on AEW or whatever. And I found that wildly inappropriate. So, Awful was here. I should have got him to react to that. I'll have to get him next time. So it is here. I got Tony. What do we got here, guys? What do we got? We got Tony Khan. So Tony Khan talked about how he was going to step into the ring. Tony Khan may wrestle. Right near the beach, boy. Yeah, dude. One gone. The blood clot club. So, anyways, at Cultaholic. So the rumors were, like, a rumor came out. Oh, Tony Khan's going to wrestle. A match. This is all culminating in a match between he and Jack Perry. Now, that just sounds like bullshit, but I wouldn't put it outside the realm of possibility in AEW. So Tony Khan is he ruled out stepping into the ring for a match in AEW. Thank fuck. Thank God. So Tony Khan says, AEW is where the best wrestle. We mean that. That's why I want to make sure the fans get the best matches and the best action. In this case, I'm not the best person to pay those people back. There are a lot of things I'm good at behind the scenes. Like what? But somebody else is going to have to go avenge what those guys did to not only me, but to Kenny Omega. I'm quite sure there are more capable wrestlers than I am. Capable than you, Tony. Come on, you've never even been in a ring. Have you guys seen him trying to get into a ring? It's fucking hilarious and adorable. Who can inflict some of that punishment on the Young Bucks, Jack Perry, and Okada? I want to have great matches in AEW. After what happened to me last time, I don't think I would be making a smart move. So he said that Tony's everything he said in the past, he ended up doing in the end. Do you know what I'm talking about? So he's like, I'm not going to do this shit in the past. He ends up doing it all and making himself look like an idiot. And so I thought that was absolutely hilarious and adorable. You know, that's part of him living out his dream. And the Wrestling Observer says Tony Khan doesn't think it'd be a smart move to wrestle a match. But you would think that, like, you guys know what I'm saying. You would think that he wouldn't do it, but he's going to fucking do it because he said he's not going to do it. He's done everything he said he wasn't going to do in the past. We got King of the Ring stuff to talk about, but we're going to save that for after SmackDown. And so in other wrestling news, I guess, not to make it sad, we have, because we talk about releases on the show and whatnot, per PW Insider, WWE quietly declined to renew Jerry Lawler's broadcast contract. The contract expired at the onset of 2024. A WWE source has reached out to state Lawler would still be under a WWE Legends deal. So they still have him under a Legends deal, but they don't have him. Like, I guess, I don't know. Maybe do you guys think he'll show up in AEW and do commentary one time? That would be hilarious. Speaking of like commentators and announcers, Alicia Taylor is coming to the main roster, and that other guy is heading down to NXT. So they did a little switcheroo, which is really, really good. That's a really good thing. Yeah, so Jerry the King Lawler not renewed. And okay, so oh yeah, we were talking about here, we'll talk about that another time. So you guys, CM Punk was locked inside of WWE headquarters, and this was super funny to me. So he goes, here, we'll play this video. And CM Punk, man, like, what a guy. And people are shitting on him for his promo on Raw. Now, I just think it's ridiculous, but he got locked in. So we're going to play this like clip really quickly here. Here's CM Punk explaining what happened. He's like, I might stick around in Hartford for Raw. I thought he was going to enter the King of the Ring. Didn't happen, but let's.
Yes, I'm still here. Look at that head. Sing close. Say hello, Bob. Hello, Bob. I made my way back to the gym. There's people working out in here, so I just have to disappear again.
So there was like a video where he's like, yeah, I went to change my clothes in the bathroom, and then all of a sudden
I might stick around.
I'm locked in, you know?
For Hartford Raw, I don't know. I don't think anybody would know. There's too many. I got lost. There's too many places to hide out. Anyway. So yes, to answer all of your questions, I am still here.
So I thought they were going to parlay that into him taking Drew McIntyre's spot in the King of the Ring, which would have popped me really hard. So then he goes, and then Punk writes Jim Herd on the one office, like just being a straight menace in the headquarters. And then he came out and cut a promo on Raw, and all the marks were like, dude, he's cutting this is a bad promo and blah, 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 blah. And they're all just coping so hard about it. And here's a little quip from it. Because this part got crickets, right? And he brings up the Jack Perry brawl stuff on Raw. So
because you're a choke artist, not like how I'm a choke artist, Pat. Two very different things. Guillotine, yeah. Because you're
so like taking shots at AEW, but it just got crickets, and there was just so much cope in the IWC being like, oh, Jack Perry cuts better promos than Punk and shit. And it's like, no, dude, no, he can't. No, he absolutely can't. It's complete and utter bullshit. And a lot of people are just saying like, you know, they didn't react. It's the gloves are off. Now it's time. AEW, it's all out war and stuff. And it's like, no, it's not, bro. Like, and Punk does this to keep these people crazy and to keep him relevant and to keep people talking about him. And I'm going to clip this. And then, you know what I mean? So he's a genius why he does this shit and how he pulls this off. And he just gets their blood boiling, keeps him trending, keeps him popular. And this is the way that I don't get mad when WWE does this as much, because this is why they really have mastered with the QR codes and all these little things they do. They've mastered like giving to the IWC neckbeard fucking fans, if you will, right? Like the IWC, while also catering primarily to mainstream audiences and et cetera, and casuals and stuff. And that's what AEW, they just cater to like that niche subsection of like the internet subculture of it. And this is just, I don't know, man, he gets their blood boiling, and it's just hilarious to me how he's able to keep doing this and stay trending. And they're going to say his promos are bad and he's worse than Jack Perry and blah, blah, blah. And then they're saying, oh, look at Raw. You won't address how the crowd didn't care, but the Paris crowd was so hot. Now this crowd isn't that hot. It's like, the Lyon, France crowd. And it's like, bro, they're never in Lyon. They don't get fucking wrestling shows, so they're not going to be they're going to be more hot. It's like, it's just such copium that's been going on. Oh, Phil, you like the word cope too much. You like to say, well, it's because it's what people are doing. It's like I can't help it. And so yeah, Punk's just being a menace, touching Undertaker's junk, his statue of his junk. And here's some more cope. Like, look at this guy. The Elite Life made these 2 signs for the Collision show here this coming Saturday. AEW, where the best wrestle. Thank you, Tony Khan. WWE Weinstein of pro wrestling. Bro, just, and then look, this is funny. Love it. Can I get a follow, brother? You got it. Dude, so edgy, bro. Edgy, bro. I'm so edgy, man. Weinstein, Tony, I love you. Woo. Fuck, man. It's so lame. It's so lame. And it's just so gross. And this is what maybe I should have brought this up to. Awful. It's like, man, this is gonna make a WWE fan just be like, man, fuck this shit. You know what I mean? Where at least I'm going, look, there's HLA. These girls are gonna make out and jiggle their titties around. Let's all do it. I'm sorry, guys. So yeah, man. Do you guys here? I want to save that. So okay, Sap, Triple H called out Sap and Fightful and all them, and there were 2 different reactions, right? So Triple H calls out PW Insider and Sap and them, not directly, right? But basically, I don't have the clip. He calls out the dirt sheets. Of course, Wrestling Observer, who we'll talk about, they had to give their 2 cents and get all worked up and upset about it. But before we circle into that, we'll start here with basically, because it was Fightful and PWI that took the brunt of it, right? Wrestling Observer sort of, don't worry, the flutes are polished, guys. Okay, don't worry, it is coming. I know what you're waiting for. I know what you're hanging around for. But so Awful Wrestling, I should have went. I wish he was here to do this with me, but it's okay. It's a little later where he's at. But a tale of 2 reactions. So Triple H at the press conference, I don't have the exact clip. We reacted to it when we were doing Backlash, but review on the last live show. But during Backlash, the press conference, it was very quick, and Triple H came out and someone asked them, like Fightful and PW Insider say, this and that about Drew Gulak. And so Triple H's response was like, hey, you better get, I wish Marv was here too. He does the best Triple H, but it's, you better get your shit from credible sources is basically what he said. You better trust in news that's actually news, basically. And so on one side, here's PW Insider's response to Triple H. At pwinsider.com, shout them out. They go, thoughts on what Triple H said today? I don't have any. Whatever he meant, he meant. It doesn't change the fact that I think he is doing a great job and that Backlash was an amazing PLE. Children take things personally. We will continue to be fair and honest. At Dave Scherer. So shout out Dave Scherer. He's a guy that we put over on the show here. And so on the other hand, you have Sean. And so I said I'd take it easy on Sean, but I have to. I can't just not. You know what I mean? I can't just not talk about this shit. So, at Sean Ross Sapp says, I've been told by WWE PR, personally, he's been told by their PR that Triple H lumping in Fightful was a mishap. Which, oh man, it's just, that's such a little thing. Who cares? Who cares, dude? I don't think PW Insider should have been trashed either. I mean, I think what Triple H was doing was in jest alluding to dirt sheets aren't credible for the most part, either way. But Sean goes on to say, would like that type of thing clarified publicly, as intentionally undermining the work of people who take the steps to verify info is messed up. Well, here's the thing, Sean, is that a Fightful, a lot of you guys and the people who write there, who all melted down because of what Triple H said, by the way, you guys trash WWE a lot, man, and say crazy shit about WWE, and so use words like disgusting and vile, like all these different words about WWE, dude. So, and then you're saying would like that type of thing clarified publicly. So Sean's like, WWE better fucking apologize, putting his foot down, standing on his business. But Awful's highlighting and Fightful a lot of Fightful accounts like melted down and went on blocking sprees and got really upset about things about Triple H saying that. And then Fightful caught a lot of goddamn heat. And then, so here's somebody saying, but Triple H called Sapp and apologized to him. Laugh, laugh, laugh. So Sean Ross Sapp said on a message board or somewhere, I don't know if this is a tweet or a message board or what, but I'll say this. This is from Sapp. I'll say this. Triple H called me. So Sapp's claiming Triple H called him. It was off the record, so I can't elaborate on it. No, I don't buy it, or their apology. So still sort of indicting Triple H, like being like, no, I don't believe that, and da-da-da-da-da. Now, or their apology. I'm not buying it. Now, people think Sapp's working. People are like, there's no way Triple H called him. What do you guys think, chat? Do you think Triple H called him? I don't know. I wouldn't put it beyond them to try and be cool with media. It seems like WWE's trying to be more cool with media, and with Fightful, like, okay, they do hold like a chunk of this space. Like, they've been on the grind for a long time, so it's like they do want to be covered favorably. Like, they don't want to just be fucking hated on by Fightful constantly, man, because that's what it seems like. They say crazy shit about WWE and then they obviously lean towards AEW, right? So it's like, you know, and all of the things do that, you know, like all of the fucking dirt sheet, everyone seems to do that, you know. So it's I don't know. So just more WWE not playing nice with dirt sheets, but I don't know. So Sapp saying Triple H contacted him, and I don't buy what the fuck they're saying. This guy says Triple H called out Fightful for not being credible. Sapp had no idea Finn Balor. And so exactly the dirt sheets, but he didn't just say Fightful, guys. PW Insider got lumped into this, and Meltzer in them, and they all should get lumped together because none of them knew that Balor or Drew McIntyre resigned. None of them knew about Tongaloa. None of them knew about Tama Tonga. None of them knew about this shit, dude. They were talking about Jacob Fatu before fucking Tama Tonga, you know? So the moment it was posted on social media by Finn himself and The Rock, Sean took to Twitter pretending that he knew and charged people $5 to learn more. He's trash. Okay, whatever, opinions on him aside. He is running a business. Yes, they all do this hindsight reporting, you know? They all do it. It is what it is, man. That's why I think being a dirt sheet is just a thankless job, you know? I'd much rather be a personality and just talk shit and be funny. So someone tagged me in this. We'll get to that. So this person writes, Trips broke Sean Ross Sapp. And thanks to everybody on X tagging me and everything, just in general, not just on these topics, but just in general. Like, it helps me so much with fill marks, bookmarks. So Trips broke Sean Ross Sapp. This is the kind of stuff delusional people post to invent grandiose narratives of self-importance. Karma is a beautiful thing. So Triple H should do an apology tweet at the very least. Why? No, he doesn't owe anyone an apology. You guys say horrible shit. All dirt sheets say horrible shit about fucking Triple H over the years in general and WWE. A bunch of Fightful writers specifically who are all getting very frustrated with this and blocking people and protecting their tweets and arguing with people. They all really go harsh on WWE. They don't owe you shit. But anyways, this guy's saying, like, if he's serious about change, he should be responsible for clarifying things, including stories from media outlets. No, because y'all don't do that. The dirt sheets don't do that when they get things wrong or when they're caught lying or when they don't know news and then afterwards know all the ins and outs of the news. They don't do that. So no, why would Triple H have to? He's a wrestling promoter. He's not a news guy. Anyways, Sean says he called me. I don't believe he's serious about change or cares in that regard. Throw doubt on everything and they'll doubt anything. Call logs or it didn't happen, someone responds. I don't really care if you think it happened. I kind of agree with Sean there. I'm not going to lie. I don't give a shit. I think he did call him, probably. Like, because think about it. Why would, if Sean just made this up, that's just like, that's like beyond craziness. And I don't think he would just invent that. But maybe, I mean, you could get away with it because Triple H would never address it if he did or not. But we have further proof from Sean, and Sean feels the need to prove it further to people in the IWC. And like, if I'm him, I just wouldn't give a shit. I would just, but hey, you know, or no, I'd probably show it though. If I'd probably post the call log just to shut everybody up, but I don't really care about that. But he did post something here. Now, Is this proof? I don't know. I'm not interested in investigating if Sean's lying about talking to Triple H, but he is vested in it, and this is sort of where it went to. It just stooped to. It just seems like a lot of copium over on the Fightful side of things, like from this, whereas PW Insider were just like, whatever. Children get angry and upset, and Marv always says it. He's like, dude, if you're confident in your work, shout out Movie Marvin, he always says it to me, like, if you're confident, you don't need to fucking worry about what other people say, dude. Like, you're doing good shit. So good shit, pal. So this guy says he definitely wrote this himself, and Sap says, okay, well played. This made me laugh after a tough week. And here's a note from WWE saying, Sean, it is a pleasure working with you throughout the year. Your work is strong, and we appreciate your commitment to the craft. Nick, Paul, Chris, Greg, and your friends at WWE. I believe this, dude. I believe this. Find a note written from Nick or whoever the fuck wrote this. They sent him some certified Greenwich cheese company. They sent him some cheese or whatever. This is taking it too far. He's not going to take it all the way this far and like post this picture too. Like it's just too much of him like going at people and being like, no, he really talked to me. And here's this lovely cheese they sent me. That's going too far if he was lying. I think that, yeah, I just think that, it's too much, and he's obviously okay with it. He's like, okay, well played. This made me laugh. And here's the thing. WWE, he does have sources. They do tell Fightful shit, like 100%. And they do like to have their wrestlers like use that outlet to promote wrestling shit, of course. They're frustrated though, for sure. People there, for sure in WWE. For surely, I'm telling you guys this, there are people who are frustrated like with the coverage they get by a lot of, or like what, some of their most prominent writers fucking say, for sure. And so, but they do get told things, and then they don't. That's why Stap gets the details after, and that's why a lot of these dirt sheets, like they don't know, like they don't know about Tongaloa because no one in WWE is gonna tell them shit. But yes, Triple H would reach out to him. I'm saying Sean's telling the truth. There you go, guys, because he wants the illusion of like we have a relationship where we will leak you some things, just not the big important things. You know what I mean? And they're like that now with PW Insider. They have to grind a little bit with things like, and Wrestling Observer. I just don't think they're welcome anymore. I think that's so obvious how one-sided they are that WWE's like, fuck them. And whoever leaks Dave shit tells them wrong shit all the time. But with Fightful, they do actually, like they do have a plug, and I just think Triple H and them would be like, no, we're cool, because I don't know about all this change. They want change and want the media to favor us more, and like they're accepting gifts to change their narrative on how they're going to cover WWE. Like that's where it just gets gross and fucking weird. Like WWE could put me on a WWE kickoff panel tomorrow and I'd still cover it the same way I cover it. AEW could do the same thing and I'd still cover it the way I cover it. Period. Not that I even cover it, but I just give my thoughts, and I'm drunk a lot of the time or on that Perry Pack in Minecraft. You know what I mean? So like, it's just, so I don't know. I wanted to bring that to the show. Say of it what you will. There was so much cope going on with all the different Fightful people. I didn't bookmark all of their meltdowns and arguments, or we'd be here for 3 fucking days talking about it. But, the Wrestling Observer had to say something about this, and they felt the need to insert themselves into this as well, which is lovely for us because it's time for everybody's favorite moment, and it is called Dave Meltzer's Dumb Moment of the Week. So Meltzer, he brings up Triple H throws digs at wrestling news sites. Well, he didn't throw digs at yours, buddy. He didn't throw digs at yours, but you're trying to like get into this beef for these meltdowns or whatever. You want to be a part of that, and etc. So Here, I'll give them a like. Fuck it. And I'm even subscribed. Do you see that? I'm not a hater, folks. When I tell you guys, I am not just out here hating to hate. Hate.
All right, a couple of newsworthy notes from the press conference. They talked about this being the largest arena gate in WWE history, so that obviously is non-stadium.
Right. So it was over $3 million. They averaged $300 a ticket.
$300 a ticket. Holy smokes.
You know, the Glasgow show is going to beat it.
Wow.
Yeah, the Glasgow show, the ticket prices are insane for the Glasgow show.
He said they'd been asked about returning.
But in AEW, the best wrestle there. So go watch that because it's better. 5 stars.
And he said Nick Khan sent a text during the show with the word stadium. So,
They should. They had 11,600 people. I mean, like they sold out, pretty quick. I mean, they should try. They probably would do real well. And there's a stadium right across the street from where they ran. So why not? Was fired or whatever, released because of the Ronda Rousey thing. And then he just goes, he never addressed Rousey and just goes, he wasn't released. His contract wasn't renewed, which it's whatever. It's semantic. It's the same thing. But then he throws the shot in of,
it's the same thing. But in AEW, no, you guys do. Oh no, the contract's expired. It's not the same thing.
You should probably listen to more credible sources. And it was just like, the guy can't help himself, and WWE quickly apologized to everyone, to them, but privately.
Dave needs to help himself with that just for men, motherfucker.
Not publicly. He didn't apologize. Although I shouldn't say that because I think he actually called Sean Sapp and probably quietly apologized, or whatever he said. We don't know, because it was basically, he told Sean Sapp, like, this is off the record, but, and then,
look at this shit. Look at this. WWE Backlash, the Brian and Vinny show. Is WWE style dying? Like, are you fucking kidding me?
They called, whoever they called PW Insider and all that. And it's like, it was a bullshit comment. And,
you feel slighted, Dave? Yeah, it's a real bullshit comment.
Shouldn't have said it. If Tony Khan would have said it, the people would have gone completely nuts, insane. But, he can get away with it because, everyone's, they're hot and everyone's kissing up to him. And
why? What does Tony Khan have to? They're hot and everyone's kissing up to him. No, everyone's kissing up to Tony Khan because they know that he's shilling out all the money. It does you no good kissing up to WWE because they don't give a shit if you kiss up to them or not, dude. They don't care. They're still trying. Like Triple H is calling Sapp, trying to make things work with him, and they don't kiss up to him. Dave is so fucking deluded, man, and he's just, look at him, bro. He's just old and seen it. He doesn't know he's just so fucking deluded. It's backwards. It's all projection with these people. They project harder than any fucking thing in the world. No one's kissing up to Triple H, dude. He just got offended that the dirt sheets are saying he just doesn't like that he was asked that question. Now, you can't blame him. Look at Dana White gets asked questions he doesn't like all the fucking time. Lots of people get asked questions they don't like. Okay? They don't need to kiss your balls. You're just mad because, and you want to lump yourself in with Insider and Fightful. Dave, Fightful and PW Insider are both better than you because they at least fucking don't just blatantly lie. Okay? They might be biased, but they don't fucking just blatantly lie. Or PW Insider's right down the middle,
That's the basic gist of it. And the one thing I got to say is like, I don't, I find it actually an insult to your intelligence to try and say that, and he never said Ronda Rousey had nothing to do with it. However, we did start seeing stuff of, Drew Gulak was this and Drew Gulak was that and blah, blah, blah.
Drew Gulak.
And it's like, the timing makes it completely obvious. The minute that thing happened, the guy was taken off TV. When he was taken off TV, I was going like, is he done? And it's like, the answer was, he's not officially done, but he's not coming back. It's if you can't tell that it was
because they weren't renewing him, bro.
The Ronda Rousey thing, but
we can all tell it is, and that's why it goes without saying, Dave. It insults your intelligence that you don't understand nuance, Dave Meltzer. No, Triple H didn't say anything because it goes without saying. You don't need to say anything about it.
Investigation wasn't conclusive. they can't say that. But the whole thing is that, they're afraid the fan base might turn, get mad. She said this in a public forum. Everyone, many people know it. It became
fan base won't turn. Ronda's a joke, dude.
Big story. And he's a guy with a main roster contract. So he's getting paid, reasonably well. I mean, not giant money, but much bigger money than an NXT guy. And they have no plans for him on the main roster. He's just going to be an NXT guy in the Catch Club. And the reality is he was all over TV. The Catch crew was not being phased out. He was not being phased out. It was just like the decision was made. Obviously, timing is perfect to take him off. And everything else now is just kind of like, I find it kind of like an insult to your intelligence to even try to tell you that, oh, he was whatever he was, like whatever these stories are that suddenly came out on Drew Gulak. It's like, you know what happened. They can't say it.
So then why is it insulting the intelligence if you know what happened and they can't say it? Dave, like, he's such a smarmy, dumb fucking does not operate in even reality. Like, it actually is like disturbing. It's actually fucking disturbing, man. So back over to the bookmarks here. Like that shit is so stupid. My word. Like he explains it himself why he didn't address it, and it's somehow insulting Dave's intelligence. So speaking of which, at Meltzer said what? We have the picture of the fucking dude from the Goonies and wrestling. If this was AEW radio.
Kofi says, Woods, I don't know when he's going to be back. I need to beat Gunther, get to the next round. But to get to Gunther, I got to beat Rey Mysterio. All-time great, he says. And he vows to win the tournament for Xavier Woods.
He doesn't mention where the match is or nothing.
Nothing.
No.
Nothing.
Yeah. Just that they're having a match.
Because it's a sold-out fucking house show.
For all of the thing.
But I will give them that. You should mention where it is and why you're excited, whatever. But house show's probably sold out, bud.
It's like when it was first announced at the start of the show that they were doing these matches at house shows, I thought, this is a good idea. I still think it's a good idea. But this is like, this execution, if this was AEW, people would just be talking about
Dave,
how absolutely incompetent.
Bringing it to AEW again. If this is AEW, so this is the second time he's done it. This is the same show. There's a third example. Meltzer says what has over here.
Talking about how absolutely incompetent they were by announcing it and they're not telling you.
Well, I am here telling you how absolutely incompetent WWE was for having 2 matches at a house show, not telling us who, what, when, where, why. I guess we know who.
Okay, well, I thought this is a good idea. Make the house shows mean something, and then they don't tell you. I mean, it was like, what?
Luckily, I will fly to every house show, and I'll catch it one way or the other.
So, and then he does it again over here. Meltzer said what says, and I'm not just cherry picking. This was such an insightful thought. Dave brought it up again.
Sammy Bronson and Chad, and the finals of both of those tournaments.
So also, they did not give a SmackDown bracket.
No, they're probably figuring that out.
That would be another one where people would be.
Oh, they're doing it on the fly and figuring it out. No, they just don't come in their pants hotshot book. Like, they'll just tell you on the day and then we'll watch it. Like, what the fuck, man? They try to make these things sound negative about WWE when they're not. And this is where the cope comes from. And this is why they're fucking up. Because it's just making excuses like for AEW, dude. And then he brings it up. I'm not the one doing this. Dave's going, if this was AEW.
If it was AEW, where people would be just going, how incompetent they are.
Yes, because they've done it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Triple H hasn't done this over and over and over and over again. We don't know if it's incompetence yet. We have to trust where they're going because they've delivered so many times recently. AEW's never delivered. Almost ever. They fumble everything. So yes, Dave, Jesus Christ, if this was AEW, we'd laugh at it. Yes.
They should have had a bracket. They should have had what?
They should have bracket and told us what matches.
Actually, they may have had the bracket, but I don't know if they told us what.
I didn't see a bracket. I don't think they did. I mean, unless I fast forwarded through it, I didn't. I don't think they had a SmackDown bracket.
me.
And Dave just exposes himself. He's a goof who just fast forwards through everything and then speaks as though, oh, it's a 6-star match. It's an 87-star match. God damn that dude, man. So that's hilarious. AEW, per the Wrestling Observer, AEW's Tony Khan doesn't think it would be a smart move to wrestle a match. No shit. We talked about that earlier. So isn't it funny how no one, this is via Switchblade 97. I think they were on the show last live show. Isn't it funny how no one is able to give the number for his significantly increased price? So Dave Meltzer is responding to someone who says, what, another Phil? Yeah, shout out Phil. What's the major increase in Dynamite revenue since they've not signed a new deal, are still under the same terms as last year? Legit asking here, because without a new deal, they've got no new income in comparison. Meltzer responds and says the deal signed in 2020 was for 4 years plus WWBD had an option for year 5, but at a greatly increased price. WBD exercised that option for the additional year. So there's just no number though. Like that's the problem. It's like, what is this additional year? What are the numbers? All we can confirm is that Punk maybe got them a bill or whatever, or was gonna for that collision. Like we don't know. No one actually tells us. So this guy says revenue doesn't mean shit when you were bleeding cash. Of course, Meltzer will completely ignore this. Meltzer quote tweets this in response. Actually, it does. Every streaming company was valued based on subscriber numbers and revenue. And just as an example, Peacock loses more money every 10 days than AEW has lost in 5 years. And do people with no understanding of debt and financing say they aren't a real company? And this guy responds and says, well, actually, Peacock loses more money, and my sources told me AEW is doing great business. Eric Bischoff lost a lot of money, $12.99. Like, exactly, man. It's and he goes, the streaming companies are based on the subscriber numbers. Exactly. Show me the AEW subscriber numbers. Show them to me. Where? Prove that they can garner subscribe. Like, what the fuck does that have to do with what anyone's talking about, bro? Valued at what? Because you have a lot of wrestlers with high money contracts? Like, what's the value? Like, that doesn't matter, Dave. It's so stupid. It just means no understanding of debt and financing. No, dude. Peacock and them are investing tons and tons of money. They see return in different ways. Dude. AEW, what's their if they just went AEW plus AEW right now, be a subscriber, how many would they have? How many? There's no, all it proves is that they don't have a shit like 600,000 people are going to switch over to Max if they go. Like it's just such cope, and it's excuses. At AEW Neckbeard, shut them out. This guy says, LOL, yes. Revenue is up to the degree it is because of the 3.5% inflation over the year. You are so smart and such a serious person. Dave Meltzer says revenue was up just over 60% last year. And then Neckbeard says, that's great, Dave. Now, what was AEW's profit? Exactly. Revenue can be up 60%. And this guy, oh, revenue was up over 60%. Yes, revenue's up. And it doesn't even respond to what he says. Yeah, because 3.5% inflation over the year. That 3.5% probably equals the 60% up, but that's because inflation doesn't have fucking anything to do with them being hotter or anything. Like, objectively, their numbers are lower in every aspect. What did they make? Revenue's up over 60%. Okay, but did they make money on the goddamn revenue, Dave? Oh, you guys are going to pretend that you know what you're talking about when it comes to debt and blah, blah, blah. Jeepers, man. Dave speaks on AEW possibly doing more shows in Europe. The expense is pretty high, so I'd say that they probably like won't whatever. I think the deal is they probably won't do it. I think the deal is it would probably take somebody from there to make an offer like to whatever, bring them in. See, tourist boards, they're just looking for WWE. AEW's name is not big enough. Like UFC and WWE can get paid by the government agencies all over the world. Boom! Dave just said it himself. But then I tweeted out and I brought it up earlier, you know, like, yeah, so Dave just stooged like AEW pays to do Wembley. Everyone's like, well, of course. Well, exactly. So they don't make money on the fucking gate. So, well, the biggest gate, it doesn't matter. The reason Vince was trying to get the biggest gate wasn't for that fucking number. He can just work that number. It's for what it meant for the company moving goddamn forward. Capitalizing on that. You never capitalized on this shit. It was a whole wreck and a joke. And so the expense is high for him to run it there. So it costs AEW a shitload to run it there. He's not making money on these goddamn shows, whereas London will pay fucking premium to have WWE there. Right? So it's just, there it is, levels to the shit. Don't tell me about numbers and that and all this shit. Don't even talk about that. Don't even talk about it. Because right there, that just proves like that's all of AEW's money this year, bud. So then this Dynamite that we just watched, Meltzer was already coping about it, and we saw the building was shit. We just did a watch along of it. We saw, the crowd was decent, but the building wasn't that full. And, well, at least optically, it looked pretty empty, at least at the beginning. And then he has the built-in excuse that Dave Meltzer believes that many fans may no-show this week's AEW Dynamite due to the NHL Stanley Cup game between the Edmonton Oilers and the Vancouver Canucks, which I got to go watch the rest of. It's going to be really tough because they're in Edmonton and the Oilers are in the Stanley Cup against the Vancouver Canucks that day. No, they're not in the Stanley Cup, dude. It's like round 2 of the Western Conference. The game's in Vancouver, but in Edmonton. The city's basically going to shut down for that game. There's going to be an event in Edmonton right next to the show where AEW is, and there's going to be 20,000 people there for a watch party for the game. So basically the traffic getting out is going to be murderous unless you stay for the ROH tapings. Oh my God. So they're taping ROH right now. Nobody's going to be there. In which case the traffic may not be that bad, but a lot of people at that thing are probably going to want to be getting home for the game. Because the game was just announced, it's not like when people bought tickets, they knew there'd be this game, so I could see people no-showing that have tickets, and I could see people leaving early to get home. Yeah, so he's already coping. We already said it. It's going to be one of the worst-rated Dynamites probably ever. Like one of the worst television ratings-wise, I believe. Not just to be a hater. Like, I truly think it will be, that. But yes, so here's Dave talking about more on what we just talked about a moment ago. Meltzer, can you imagine if Tony Khan said that? What a meltdown. Dave proceeds to have a meltdown and follow-up posts. So here's Dave posting all about, sorry, I meant to show this before, but could you imagine if Tony Khan said that? What a meltdown. Not only those guys, but 80% of the reporters would have. And every single fraud podcaster as well. Dave, you're a fraud podcaster. I didn't fucking melt down. And guess what? All of those fucking journalists did melt down, you fucking dummy. Can't wait for this week to see them all not say a word here. Dave gets real saucy and spicy on his message board. I love it. He didn't morph, St. Paul, and it's no big deal. Dave, you don't know him. Like Sapp saying that WWE PR called and told them they didn't mean him. I'm sure it happened. If he said that about me, I'm sure I'm getting the same call. And you think I'm believing it? You think I'm writing on X? Hey, guys, he didn't mean me. He didn't even say my site, and I'm right here telling you if it was mentioned, he'd have said the same thing, and yes, he would have meant me. Dave is such a gross pig. Like, bro, you just want that fucking, he's just reaching and just groveling. Why didn't he bring me up? Man, this shit's hilarious, dude. Fucking Dave, man. Oh my God.
Emotional damage.
So Dave posts that picture of Sapp. I give him a ton of credit for saying this. 95% of the people in the same spot would not have. No, Dave, you guys don't get calls, motherfucker. Dave, can you imagine if Tony? Yeah, like if Triple H called Dave, he would never stop talking about it. Never, ever, ever, man. So just what about Tony Khan? What about Tony Khan? And then look, see, it's okay when Khan does it. You're a fraud, Ariel Helwani. You're as legitimate of a reporter as Tony Schiavone. Thanks for watching, old friend. Good luck with the unbiased journalism. And again, Dave just proving that he, in fact, is the biased motherfucker and is the guy who doesn't know what the hell he's talking about, man. Once again, and coping, just saying crazy shit on his message board, getting nice and spicy. I like message board Dave. If you guys can send me more of message board Dave, I love that. So Dave Meltzer, the last thing I want to talk about, Dave Meltzer had this to say regarding Shinsuke Nakamura potentially heading back to New Japan once his contract is up and comes to an end in WWE. And Meltzer says, I don't think so. He likes living in the States. It's not impossible. I know that they really wanted him back when his contract expired the first time. He didn't go back. From an economic standpoint, New Japan is much farther away from WWE a few years ago. WWE contracts have gone up. New Japan contracts have stayed steady. Why is that? Because AEW fucking neutered them, took their fucking stars, neutered them, and yeah, man, that's why that happened. But Dave will never admit that because he's a biased podcaster. And that was, ladies and gentlemen, Dave Meltzer's dumb moment of the week. Guys, thanks so much for tuning into another eclectic edition of PWT Podcast. Yeah. I've been your host, Phil Marks. Actually, this is a PWT live show. PWT podcasts are coming this week. Really cool guests coming. Live show Saturday, of course, unless something comes up and changes. But maybe we'll do Sunday instead for Double or Nothing or whatever when that goes down in a few weeks. Thanks so much for tuning in, man. We had a ton of you in here this entire show. And, man, I love you all so much. At Pro Wrestle Times on X, at Pro Wrestle Times on YouTube, at Pro Wrestle Clips. We go live every Wednesday and Saturday. You already know. Shout out the Tribal Chiefs. You guys are the fucking best. And, you know, shout out Dave Meltzer. Stay in the mud.
Emotional damage.
And, yeah, this is great. You guys have been the Top Pod Chat. This has been the Top Pod Live Show. Thank you so much. We are out of here.